welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. So, yeah, sorry about the change in the day. It's been a heck of a week, schedule-wise. So, yeah, a little bit of chaos. Hey, K5, how's it going? Nice to see you online. So, I made the mistake of checking Facebook right before I went live just to make sure the event was working because they keep changing things, so sometimes nothing goes onto Facebook. And something, yeah, really disturbing happened. There was a guy that we used to play card games and stuff with a few years back. He worked at the embassy, and worked at the American embassy here, and then I think he was like reassigned to somewhere else in Asia, and then most recently he moved back to the U.S. I think like the Virginia D.C. area. So government worker and had a Japanese wife. No, maybe Chinese wife. I can't remember. Asian wife and a kid. Moved back to the U.S. and then suddenly passed away from something quick like a aneurysm or a fast cancer or something. And his name was Keith. And I just popped onto Facebook, and you know how it always reminds you of like birthdays and things. And so his birthday notification came up, and I said, "Wait a minute, that's not correct." And then just went to his page. I don't know why. Yeah, kind of doom scrolling reasons, I guess. I flipped over to his page, and a bunch of people are wishing him happy birthday. uh, yeah, it's just so. Don't die suddenly. Linger. Linger long enough to delete all your social media accounts. That's just the whole idea that we're just going to exist as this like weird ghost in the machine, and people are going to be wishing our corpses happy birthday. Yeah, that was really nasty. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why, because on his page there's a bunch of so it's obviously people that don't know him very well, maybe former coworkers and things. Um, and but there's lists for his memorial service and everything are listed on his page. So it's just people that aren't paying attention, or just the way that Facebook works, where you don't actually go to someone's page to like post things on it. But that was really depressing. I really hate that idea that whatever that just that vacuum that's sucking all your data like continues to be on when even after you stop creating data. That's how they're gonna. You're not gonna like cease life function. You're gonna stop creating user data. Is gonna be the how they consider your existence to have ended. But that was just really really depressing. I don't want to. I hope no one wishes my corpse a happy birthday. Oof. Yeah, that was just really depressing. I just hate the state of things. We're just in such a hellscape. So I guess that's that replaces what the Catholic limbo. We exist in this like digital limbo until we're purged by the system, until it's like not getting anything useful out of us anymore, and it just decides to put us in inactive mode or whatever. So very sad. So yeah, weird. Those kinds of things always make me very question why we are doing what we're doing. Yeah, that was like the that girl that died in Los Angeles at the that filthy hotel in Los Angeles, and that they found her in the water tank. She had like posts on social media that she had like set ahead of time to auto post. Like she scheduled posts that would just go online, so they didn't have any good idea of time of death because she seemed to be active, but it was just automated posting that she was doing, so she didn't have to be alive when those things went up. So That kind of stuff is so strange. Ah, but rest in peace, Keith. I hope I hope his widow's doing okay. I hope they, because that's a hard thing to do, is move, move to your spouse's home country and then they pass away that quickly. It was pretty quick. I don't think they'd been in the U.S. long, but hopefully, being a government employee, there's a lot of support there. I hope that's a thing. Yeah, strange. Hey, Booger, how's it going? Uh, Sorry, so I didn't mean to. That just like really caught me off guard. I just wanted to see if the stupid stream was on Facebook, and that'll teach me to ever look more than superficially at Facebook. Jeez. Uh, yeah, that's gotta be weird because Facebook is kind of like becoming older people's thing, like my parents' generation are heavy Facebook users, and they don't got that much longer to live. They got a couple decades at the most to live. So if Facebook is still around, it's gonna be weird. You're just gonna if the, if they don't come up with a system or have a commonly known thing, like have it just become etiquette that you set social media uh, accounts into some kind of like suspend mode or something, then you're just gonna have these older people. Sorry, this is just really catching me off guard. You're gonna have these older people just messaging their friends, not friends, but the acquaintances you have of Facebook, the former classmates or former coworkers you didn't know particularly well or knew a long time ago and aren't close with now, but you're connected to on these platforms, and you're just gonna be messaging them and talking to them, and you're gonna be the only one alive. Like, you'll be the last person alive, and you're gonna just be messaging a bunch of accounts that for people that don't exist anymore. That is the worst. Yeah, so hopefully they get that figured out. It just becomes a standardized thing, and the system gives you up, surrenders your body to the great beyond, whatever, and they stop stop suggesting you and promoting. Can you imagine? That's gonna happen definitely as we're older. Is they're gonna start to recommend dead people to you on that you people you may know, people you may know that may or may not be alive. Ugh. But yeah, that's gonna start being a thing with kind of the boomer generation. Oof. They're going to. Yeah, that's weird. So I think I'm definitely going to once I know that's it for me, I'm just going to install chat bots on all my accounts. So I'll just keep talking to you in this like weird way and like suggest changing your mobile carrier and your internet provider. Jeez. Anyhow, yeah. So sorry about the morbid start. That stuff always catches me off guard. That's why I was started writing those Nmity stories, is because that technology stuff is there's a lot of morbid, weird things with the way we interact with technology. And I just had another one of those. Yeah, that actually might be, yeah, that might be a good inspiration for a story, is because I was kind of obsessed. The first idea I ever had for Enmity was like a technology based ghost story, so somebody that wasn't there. And it was actually in the first story that I wrote. It was a kid. It was a woman had a kid just with a guy she was dating, and just denied it, and could do that like within the system. She could get away with that, just kind of suppressing it and continuing her dating life, looking for a husband. And but the ex-boyfriend and the kid just kind of lingered there invisibly in her life. And this might be like the next kind of logical step of that is write a story about someone that's not alive. So like write it through the point of how the system is presenting them, and how they're things are happening to them, accounts are being debited and credited, and things are interacting, like stuff is going on in their life, but they don't exist anymore. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that would be an interesting premise. Hard to write, maybe. I always do that. I come up with these ideas that I don't know if I can actually execute. Like one of the stories was, I think I talked about this probably last year on the stream, but the two people that didn't speak the same language, never learned each other's languages, and were communicating through like auto translation in the system, so that their words of endearment or tenderness were all like very coldly robotically translated. And so it affected how they thought about each other, because they never heard their their real words to each other. But yeah, that's definitely that would definitely be an interesting thing if I could pull it off, is a character that wasn't alive, but you watch their life like continue on, a story about someone that didn't exist. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that made me think, the that Facebook thing made me think too of my grandparents as they got older. My grandparents on my father's side, that's all they talked about. It's like, yeah, all we do is go to funerals. That's all we do, because they have a lot of maybe they had a lot of smoking friends and everything. And my grandfather was a World War II veteran, and so he'd go to army reunions, and every year just get smaller and smaller until it's just a couple of guys in wheelchairs, and eventually to the point where that people couldn't even travel for the events anymore. But yeah, that's going to happen digitally. People are just going to linger. Yep, that's going to be it. Oof. So yeah, we had this weird typhoon just kind of hanging out off the coast, just giving us weird weather. So didn't make landfall or whatever they call it. So we didn't have any damage from it, but it's just like the weather is so bizarre. It'll be like this weird patchy like kind of patchwork clouds of blue sky and rain clouds. Like there's just heavy rain clouds, but there's holes in it, and you can see blue sky through it. So it doesn't quite rain, but it's not sunny. Yeah, very strange. But I think that's all because of the strange weather system. Thanks, K5. It's good to see you online. I wasn't sure if this off day was gonna, if anyone would be online at this time, but I figured I may as well try, because I had some time. My daughter goes to like after school thing today, so I don't have to pick her up. Yeah, it was just impossible. Her schedule was like everything was in the middle of the day, and yeah, it was crazy. So this was my chance. Yeah, and I gotta maybe be more active on. Well, actually, I think I've screwed up Twitter, because I don't have a Twitter for my the cartoons only. It's just my regular account, because I was using it creatively, and then I tried to. So I had a personal Twitter account, and then I tried to make like a professional Twitter account. So all the like people I was meeting for the gallery and for freelance and stuff, I try to use. You can't do that. You can't, like, basically you just have to exist. One instance of you has to exist on Twitter. So Yeah, I screwed that up, so I don't really have a good Twitter presence. But that's probably the best way to notify people. My schedule's all weird. Yep. And I was just talking last week about regular regular schedule is so comforting. I watched the premiere, the 2 episode kind of premiere, I guess, the beginning of the Foundation, the Asimov's Foundation series that Apple Plus is doing. That's interesting. It's odd because they can't, the way the books are written, it's kind of unfilmable because it's like this 1,000-year story span, and so they're going to just kind of jump around in the story and tell things in pieces. And Asimov wrote, it was like written from like the 30s to the 50s, and he wrote a bunch of short stories, or a bunch, he wrote it serially, so it was published in a sci-fi magazine serially, and then collected as novels. So the 3 original novels, and they were really popular. And then his publisher, after he wrote like I, Robot and all the other stuff that he wrote, so they're published in the 50s, and all the other stuff that he wrote after that, did well, but people were always like, oh, but what about Foundation? Go back to that. And he didn't, really have any interest in it, or didn't see what else he could tell, what other stories he could tell. And then I think he went back, he wrote a sequel novel, and then went back and wrote a prequel, or a couple of prequel novels. I'm not exactly sure, but there's like 7 books or something now, but they're not chronologically in order. He wrote them out of order. Kind of like there are a lot of stories. A lot of people that wrote for pulps or magazines, that kind of happened with their work. Like all the Conan short stories, they just like jump around in time. Like he's old, he's young. They don't make any sense chronologically. They're just these little pieces of that character's life. So Foundation is a little like that. It's all out of order and kind of filled in the blanks and stuff. So this TV series they have to have the knowledge of these 7 books, and then take them and put them into a story where you can follow characters, because the problem with how it's written is it's almost short stories, or the chapters, like the main character, the kind of thing that everything is focused on, or the kind of the person that created the Foundation basically dies in the first chapter of the first book, so you don't get to know that character at all, and it doesn't make for very satisfying television, where you don't see the same people every week. Like every week it's literally going to be new characters that you don't know, that you have to find out who they are and how they're connected to things. And so it makes really weird, unsatisfying television. Interesting sci-fi, books, stories, or novels. That's you can handle that in fiction, but for television, it's kind of weird, and especially maybe budget-wise, because you just have to, pay expensive actors and just have them filming things, unless you have this whole thing figured out where you can do all of their stuff at one time. But then they just kind of, which may be what they're doing. They may just kind of be coming and going throughout the series. But but the stories, you can see, like, because this was written starting in the 30s, very early sci-fi idea, and you can see how so many people were influenced by this, because it's the idea of like a galactic empire, so this empire of man is ruling the galaxy, and everything seems to have been inspired by this Dune and Star Wars, and everything having an empire. Like anything that sci-fi that uses that central empire is very similar to the power balance and the effects and everything of it. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And the one thing that's very interesting that they keep doing is they take these classic. So Foundation is classic, 50s sci-fi. Very old school. The thing that kind of cyberpunk was reacting against, like all the writers in the 80s that were trying to do sci-fi were just trying to do something other than 50s and 60s style Heinlein and Asimov, and the kind of standard white guy, sci-fi that was being written. And so what they're doing with these shows is they're doing a lot of gender swap and race swapping with the characters. So it's going to be really interesting. It's almost going to, for some younger viewers, I think, negate the original text, because they're not going to want to go back and read these original books and be like, oh, it's just a bunch of white guys. This is not interesting, because when I saw the show, there were people that looked like me, or that was very diverse, looking cast. So they're going to, they're, in a way, kind of making it so that people aren't going to go back to those original texts, that the new TV version or whatever, streaming version or whatever, will, be the default. I mean, it just is a version of things, but I think that just occurred to me how odd that's going to be for some young people, that their first experience of Foundation will be that show, and then, oh, let me take a look at these original books, and it's just like, oh, I don't know who any of these characters are now. Yeah, but I think the connection is very strange anyhow. It's almost like they're inspired by the original story, but they're not telling that story very well. It's just difficult. But yeah. So I thought that for a lot of the new stuff that's coming out, the Wheel of Time and Foundation, they're changing a lot in it. And so if this becomes people's idea, if it's popular, and it becomes people's idea of things, just like Game of Thrones, even though the original writer was involved in the HBO series for Game of Thrones, it became really popular, and I think it's kind of eclipsed the original text, because the show went beyond the books, and he never caught up. The writer never caught up. He's kind of like stuck in this weird limbo, because he maybe gave them an outline or whatever and said, this is, where this is going. This is how I want some of these characters' stories to end. And they just crapped it out. The hack screenwriter that they had and the idiot showrunners just trashed that story. And they didn't take the time to get there, or they just like, okay, this is where all these characters need to be. Let's just, quickly rush through this. Did like a 6-episode final season. Such a joke. But for so many people, they're not going to care. Like when these books come out, fans of the show aren't going to respond to them. People that read the original books and want to see how the novels conclude will be interested, but I don't think people of the show, because the show is over, how it ends, what happens to these characters. And if the books are different, then why do you want to, read that? That doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, we're just going to keep doing that, I think. And it kind of shows the hierarchy of media as well. If something is made into a movie, that exists on this higher level because it's got more exposure, it's more visible. It's like movies, TV, streaming, whatever, and then novels, comic books, it just keeps, like video games, it just keeps going down and down as far as like the priority of storytelling or priority of media. So if something is an adapted video game or whatever, it's if it gets adapted to one of these like higher levels, more mass levels of entertainment, then there'll be some damage to the original. Hey, Lil Will, how's it going? Nice. You guys are over on Twitch. Nice. Oh, Hennessy. Excellent. I don't even know if you can get Hennessy in Japan. That's funny. I'm sure there's some importer that has it, but yeah, things are slowly. I just found like they just started importing Jameson not that long ago. But yeah, that's really funny. There's just things that don't, like you can't get. There's kind kinds of different kinds of vodka and stuff. I just found like Grey Goose vodka. I think that's French. I just found that. And what's the one that was really popular in LA when I was there? Kettle One. Kettle One does not exist here at all. And not even the import shops carry it. So it's funny. They the big distributors, they kind of pick and choose, and maybe it's just based on the Japanese palate. Yeah. Nice. Oh, cool. Oh, what game? What game? I missed that. Sorry, I'm totally missing the chat. Oh wow, K5, you got to get up early, and I'm keeping you up. I appreciate you popping on the stream. Oh, New World. That's right. Sorry. The Amazon it's an MMO, right? It's the Amazon. Yeah, I saw that again. Amazon had that studio sounds like such a mess. It doesn't sound like it's being run very well. But yeah, I'm curious about that game. I was playing. God damn. It's just a single person RPG. That reminded me a lot of the setting. It's a very similar, like kind of early American, like 17th century, 18th century America. What is that called? Damn, it is the same studio. I'm gonna open Xbox Game Pass just so I can find it. But it was similar. It's a similar setting, except they make all the Native Americans kind of druid. It's like a druidic tribe. So they get around some of the racial stuff because everyone can. It's very mixed race. Like all the characters are just like kind of random ethnicities. But so there's like obviously old world Europeans, and then the newer pioneers and settlers, and then this original people that are come on the original people that are there. So they get around a little bit of the the tension of that setting. This is so not worth looking at, but I just wanted to remind myself of what it was. Anyhow, come on. It is play. Oh, it'd be funny if it's not on here, because this is the only place that I remember it from. Come on. Huh. I love parts of the stream where I'm just like looking stuff up. That's the most interesting part. Oh, maybe it did come off. Yeah, I was playing it on the PS4 when it first came out. Yeah, I don't think it's on Xbox anymore. Greedfall, there we go. God damn. Greedfall. So Greedfall reminded me when I saw the previews of New World. Yeah, Greedfall reminded me of that too. Yeah, it's by the same guys that did I think Mars Logs. Sorry. Greedfall, thank you. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, that took a while. To find. But yeah, it sounds like the management, like the executive level of the game studio of Amazon sounds like a mess. Like they're not they don't know anything about games. They're just like, make it like this, and they kind of chased a couple of trends and don't realize like game development it's even longer process than filmmaking. Like you can do a movie in 2 years, but a game in 2 years is really pushing it from like planning to release. So yeah. So Greedfall, that reminded me of that same kind of that setting. So yeah, I'll take a look at the stream. I'm really curious about what New World looks like. You've got a decent machine, so I might be able to play. Oh right. Oh, so of course, yeah, they'd be pretty friendly to you streaming on Twitch because it's Amazon. Yeah, I think that other, I think it was just a multiplayer, like a looter shooter or something that was out that I think went back into development, or they kind of like put it. They released something and then they went after a bunch of popular Twitch streamers to kind of say, "Hey, why don't you play this game? Our new game, promote our new game." Mm-mm. Oh, cool. I wonder if there's money in that. I wonder if that's a paid, if Shroud is doing that from interest, or if it's a paid gig. That's funny. Oh man, yeah, I'm really curious about New World. That setting it's very rich. Like there was a company that just released a tabletop RPG that's like set in colonial America. There's a lot you can do there because yeah, there's a lot in that setting, like man versus nature, New World versus Old World. There's a lot of really cool parts of that setting. But I guess politically, especially American audiences, they're very sensitive to a lot of things that come up. But that's it's a really interesting time period that you can push a lot of different ways. If you do like alternate history or kind of fantasy history, like even like Cthulhu type retellings of early America. That would be very cool. All right. Oh yeah. No, I'd definitely be interested in. I'm a terrible streamer, but yeah, I'd be interested in the game streamer. But yeah, no, I'd be definitely interested in playing that. Yeah, that might be worth it, and it might be an easy thing to. People actually might show up because yeah, I think a lot of people are curious because it just. I think there was some worry that it wasn't ever going to come out. That it was going to be stuck in development hell for a while. Yeah. So yeah, I'll take a look. I would love to. I'd love to try it. Yeah, the only thing about MMOs is they're so time intensive, and then if you get involved in guilds or whatever they're gonna be doing, then you've got this like commitment, this social commitment to actually doing stuff, wanting to be online at certain times and doing stuff. And as you can tell from how I run this live stream, I'm not really good at being online at a regular time in a regular place. Clan, yeah. Nice. Oh, cool. Oh, thanks, Lowell. That's excellent. Yeah, I'm really curious about the game, so yeah, it may be something to try out. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's always nice. That was when I played back in the day, as they say. I played a lot of Final Fantasy 11. Am I getting that right? That's 11 was the first MMO. 9, 10. Was it 10 or 11? 11. I think it's 11. And that was really cool too. People were really helpful. The same with that first Star Wars MMO, which I'm completely forgetting the name of. But the system was a little complicated, but the players were so friendly, and the joining clans and things was really easy. And then people really helped you through the kind of learning curve, which is great if you get that in games. You don't have to kind of struggle and sit on wikis and stuff to try to figure out what you need to do if you don't feel totally lost, because it really then connects you to the game. You have you have kind of a social obligation or connection because people helped you get up to this level. So then you feel like you want to be able to do that for other people. So that's the cool thing about MMOs. It's just you got to spend a lot of time to make it worthwhile. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm really curious because Amazon really wants to do well in games, and because they own Twitch, they have that weird advantage. It seems like they don't even have to make amazing games, and they already, have a way to promote them that's much more powerful than anything that Epic or anybody can do. Although maybe Epic pays people off too. They have that wonderfully shady business style. Whoa. Okay. A lot just happened there. There we go. You can tell when there's just like really deep pockets and companies just throw money at things that they probably have Chinese investment, because that's the whole attitude. Like that's the whole Chinese business practice attitude. It's just like just keep throwing money at it until that overcomes any resistance. Yeah, there was a story about, I hope I didn't tell this already, but one of the little independent bookstores in LA, there was it was a former politician, like a Chinese politician. I don't think it was like the president or anything, but a former Chinese politician that had written a book. The book was translated into English. They wanted to do a signing, and so the bookstore that most convenient to the hotel they were staying at, they just approached and said, "We want to do a signing this Saturday for the honorable whatever this prime not prime minister, but the whatever kind of minister of the Communist Party." And the bookstore said, "No, sorry, we already have a schedule. There's already an author that's going to be signing." And they just said, "How much? How much? This much? More? How much?" And just kept throwing figures at them. How much is it going to cost? Like, we want this signing. How much? How much? How much? And the bookstore had some integrity and said, "No, sorry, we have an obligation to this author. We've worked with them for a long time. We're not going to, kick them out. We're not going to make them lose their promotion opportunity just for this politician promoting their book." And the Chinese government got the American government involved, and the owner of the bookstore said when they that Saturday the government just showed up, like the local California government was just like, "Yeah, you're gonna do this and this is gonna happen," and they were literally forced to hold a book signing for this Chinese visitor. This, I don't know if it was a former politician or whatever, and yeah, it's just insane. So the money didn't work on the lowest level, which would be the bookstore owner, so they just went up the ladder until they had a politician that was that they could buy, and they just paid him off, and they exerted force on the bookstore. It's just crazy that but that's the real, that's the MO, is just throw money at anybody you need to and go up as high as you can, and you'll eventually find someone with a price. And it doesn't matter if it's a ridiculous price, you can pay it, but it's crazy. Yeah, so oh, that's cool. I'm glad that's out and doing things. Yeah, because I heard about that a long time ago, and they were previewing it, and then it went quiet for a while. I wonder what the grind was like to get that released. I'm sure there's people that are traumatized by not seeing their families for half a year. Oh, I wonder too if it went into remote development. Like, I wonder if people were doing it from home. That has to be because especially the game industry is super paranoid. Like software development and games are super paranoid about people stealing code. So remote logging in and things must make them a little nervous because it would be easier to be compromised. Probably not, really that much easier, but I think the perception is that it would be easier to for things to go wrong. And obviously, they've already been talking about how people are working two jobs at the same time. If you're remote working, then you could just be hired by two companies, be doing the same job for two companies, and basically be turning in the same, types of projects or whatever, or be working on just kind of switch back and forth with who you're working for, and they don't know. You're working for them all the time, as far as they know. So yeah, people have been playing some games with this remote work thing, which is just going to make companies, be more ridiculously strict. Like, want to be able to watch your desktop and things. Like, it's just going to make it so remote work is like torture, where they're going to know every second and every keystroke of your remote work, or be able to, look it up. Hmm. Yep, but of course, someone was going to try that. Yeah, that's the thing that early days of a lot of the internet bubble. So many companies just created their competition. They either didn't treat people right, or the people, like the programmers and things, had such an inflated view of themselves that it was impossible for a company to treat them as well as they thought they deserved. So you just basically trained your competition. Your enemy was created at your own company, and then they just and that's when contracts started to get more and more. The terms, like the non-compete clauses in contracts, got really crazy. Like I signed one that was like 5 years or something. Like I couldn't work in that same industry for 5 years after quitting that place. Yeah, I was like, this is insane, and I don't even know if that's enforceable. But luckily, I switched industries, so it didn't matter. Uh, but yeah, it's bizarre. Nice. Oh man. Oh, oh yeah. So I've got butter chocolate for the convenience store segment, and it's got a little thing on the package that I can explain. And I don't think there's an equivalent. It's like one of those untranslatable, so you just have to explain it because it's not an idea that exists in English. But it's very funny. It's kind of, yeah. There's a lot of things, a lot of emotions and feelings that are in Japan that are expressed by sounds. So that works well for manga because they can, you know, they don't have to show something. They can just write the sound effect of, like, whatever, somebody experiencing something cute, or some twinge, some heart. I guess that would be the word, is like a heart twinge. But there's, yeah, actual, like, words for that, and so those things can be expressed and understood very easily, just by using those familiar terms or expressions. And yeah, they don't have a real good translation, not a real one-to-one concept. Just like the business term, the thing that people say when they meet each other for the first time and they're going to be, like, working together. The translation is "I will take care of you," or "Please take care of me." Sorry, "Please take care of me," is the way they translate the Japanese, and it sounds a little weird and affectionate for a business relationship. I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, I think I'll do that. A stupid butter joke because it's butter. That's this, right? Yeah. So I'll move these onto the other one. Yeah, butter chocolate. Yeah, so I have no idea what butter chocolate is, but we'll see. And it's done in a package like the very standard. The chocolate package is a very standard Hokkaido butter company looking package with a little cow cartoon, or weird looking cow cartoon, but it explains the but it has a little thing in the on the front that I will explain something that the character is doing. You'll know the sound of something, the sound of how something works in Japan. Oops. Yeah. So luckily, yeah, so this worked out so I could get the cartoon stream done this week, and luckily the game stream tomorrow, the tabletop kind of update news thing, the weekly will happen tomorrow as well. So I was worried about that getting screwed over too by my schedule, but it worked out. Yeah, that was the thing. It's nice to have, and I guess that was the big seduction for me of being in, of moving to Japan, is my wife's family's kind of all in the same city. And in the US, my family's scattered all over the place. So nobody helps anybody. Like, if, you would have to like literally travel. If you want a babysitter, you have to fly across the country to have your family babysit. So they could only, like, when they visited or whatever. So like right after my first daughter was born, like my mom came out and spent some time. But that was then it, otherwise then it's, yeah, there's just way too much traveling, domestic traveling for families in the US. Nobody lives, because everyone has to chase, jobs. So nobody lives near each other. So that's really nice, is that you've got much more family support. So, my sister-in-law is nearby and stuff. So that makes it it's very different style than what I was dealing with in Los Angeles. I can't believe that when I think back at that. Like, we were totally alone going through all that crazy first kid stuff, when the kid's sick and you're like, what is this serious? Do we need to go to the doctor? What's going on? And not having anybody nearby. So it's much nicer to have the family thing. And I think a lot of people have that, but just, my family's just so scattered. And that also makes it hard when we visit from Japan, is you can't see everybody every trip, and so that creates, a little animosity. Oh, that you can see them, but you can't come, all the way over here and see us. It's like, yeah. Even on the smaller scale, Christmases were a little hectic, just driving all over the East Coast. To see everybody was not fun, especially in the winter. Oof. Yeah, New England in the winter. No, thank you. Why is this so... I guess I'm not zoomed in. Yeah, so nice change, and it's kind of spoiled. I guess, though, there's so many... Like, America is a little more rare in that way, because I don't think most people don't have that. Well, I guess it happens a little bit here too. People, go to Tokyo for a better opportunity, so they do have to visit their hometown. But their hometown, nothing can be more than like 4 or 5 hours away in Japan. And so that means literally nothing's more than like an hour and a half to 2 hours away by Shinkansen, or the bullet train, or airplane. So yeah, everything is much more doable. It's not a 6-hour plane ride from LA to New York or anything. or 4 hours. It's 4 hours. It's been a long time. Hey, unknown girl, how's it going? mm. Yeah. Yeah, we're keeping K5 up. He's got to be up early, and we're up. Got him on Japan time. Oh. Yeah, good to see you. And hey, Demon, how's it going? Demon. Nice. Yeah, good to see you guys. Sorry about the weird schedule, but I guess, yeah, a notification is a notification. It kind of will come up regardless, and you can find me, yeah, regardless of how irregular my timing is. Yeah, so glad to be able to do this on Thursday, and it's the new cartoon, like Tuesdays and Thursdays, the new cartoon days, so it was good. It's good to be able to do this and keep up with my schedule. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing good. Yeah, right. Yeah, K5 wishes that it was early evening again instead of early morning. Nice. Oh yeah, I just realized though, I think the butter chocolate package is yellow, so it might key out again, like my like last time. One of the things last time, yeah, was kind of greenish yellow, so yeah, my green screen just knocks it completely out, so that's not fun. Maybe I should, I don't know, that would look terrible, but I was gonna say maybe just turn it off for the convenience store part, or just print a big poster. A big poster says convenience store picture to put behind me for that section. Yeah, that would be funny. Instead of keying out everything, it's just literally to move these big posters like mounted on a foam board to change the scene. Just like do it very analog style. Nice. Oh, unknown girl, the beginning of the stream I had some Nmity story inspiration. I was going on and on to K5. There was a guy that I knew that worked at the embassy in Japan, and he moved back to the US with his wife and kid, and then had a sudden illness, something very quick, and so he died 2 years ago now. I think it was pre-pandemic, so it was about 2 years ago. And I was checking this stream on Facebook, and his notification of wish him a happy birthday came up, and I don't know why, but I clicked I clicked on his page, and many casual acquaintances were wishing him happy birthday. And even though there's like right below that is like his memorial service and like everything, wishing his widow, the condolence messages and stuff. And so it was just really depressing how you just linger, you just linger in social media even after you don't exist anymore. So people are gonna wish you happy birthday long beyond the grave. But yeah, so as far as like an enmity story, that was made me think of a writing a story with a character that no longer existed. Like, you know, talk about the things that would happen when you didn't exist anymore, but the system, you know, like social media and everything didn't know you. It made some mistake and didn't know you were gone. You weren't, you know, somebody didn't, you know, delete you correctly or set your, you know, account to deceased or whatever, so you just lingered on. So that was I might try to do that, write a story about a character that's been dead for a while and just you know, how they exist as this like weird ghost in the machine. But yeah, we're all gonna we're all gonna do that unless we have somebody that, you know, because they must have that. Facebook must have thought of that like a long time ago, is setting an account to some kind of, you know, mode that tells people that you are not you're no longer generating data. You are deceased. Yeah, they should just put like, there should just be like a big red watermark across your page when you go there, that just, you know, like somebody just stamped your file deceased, you know, like in a spy film or something. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, sorry, unknown girl. Yeah, I've got ideas, and the 12th one, I'm like halfway through it. Yeah, and I just saw somebody's YouTube channel where they had really really good text to voice, text to speech, uh, a really good engine that was running text to speech. Sounded even more natural than the IBM Watson one that I found. So I want to find a little bit of an upgrade to that. But yeah, I gotta get back into that and finish that, because I don't know why I picked an arbitrary like number 12, but I want to finish the 12th one because it is kind of an end of the world kind of story, and then collect those as an actual book. A bunch of digital stories that are text to speech audio books as a physical book. Yeah, doesn't make any sense anymore. Nothing makes sense. It's so funny how we still have these. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you should do it like this. There's no reason to, you know, print things or do things in certain ways anymore. But we still, I mean, just, I guess creatively, I still have hangups about it's not real unless I can hold the book. You know, unless I make a book of these stories and can physically hold it, it doesn't exist. It's not real. So that's not true, and I could very easily just promote you know, a website that was just the literal text of these stories. But yeah, it's very funny, just locked into these old ways of thinking. uh oh, cool. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like the Watson voices are good. And what's the other one? I think Amazon. I think I'm using like a mixture, I think, of Amazon and IBM Watson. But the one I heard, though, the guy was just, it was like a news channel that was doing text to speech, like news updates, which I really hate those. I think those are really boring. Like they're basically just taking like the, you know, Reuters or AP Newswire and just feeding it into a text to speech and making YouTube videos. But the voices were really natural. So we'll see. Uh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. People can't add you anymore if you can. Yeah, if you said it. Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, that makes sense then, because it kind of puts a closure on. So anybody that you didn't friend when you were alive, you can no longer friend. You know, that nobody can interact with that account. But everyone, it's kind of this closed uh, circle of, you know, your acquaintances. But you know, some people have, and I think I even have like people that I barely know, just kind of semi-professionally know on my Facebook. So yeah, they wouldn't really care either way if I wasn't alive. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, they must have to do that. Ah, yeah, yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, yeah, those news, yeah, those text to speech news readers sometimes, yeah, they're feeding stuff in, and there's some really weird, or they'll when they get to an acronym or something, they'll just say they'll say the letters or something, like they'll say letters instead of like reading it as a word or whatever. Yeah, some of those things sound very strange. Uh, yeah. Mm. But yeah, I gotta. Looks I really, yeah, I really liked doing that, and when I was doing it weekly, it was really fun to like actually be able to do that as a weekly scheduled thing because yeah, it was like producing a TV show or something. It was really fun to bring that to life, and I'm doing that. I'm reading for the gaming channel Patreon. I'm reading some fiction in some of these old rule books, like from the '90s, some of the audio fiction, and then doing that same thing where doing like a dramatic reading and then doing sound effects and music, and it just brings the whole story alive, like much better than just like an audio book. But those are really fun. So I'm doing that for the gaming channel because I want to keep kind of doing stuff for that setting, that world, that Mutant Chronicles setting. So I've done a little bit of that recently, but it's not my writing. It's just old stuff from various sources, old old rule books. But yeah, very often it might some people might be into it, but I always skip that stuff. So if there's a rule book that has you know, a setting and then the rules for the game itself. Anytime there's fiction in there, they're doing that for like flavor and to give you some, you know, deeper understanding of how that setting sounds and how it would look and everything, like in terms of fiction. And I just skip that stuff because it's not necessary to the information you need to know for the history or the background and then the mechanics of the game. So I almost never read it. So I went back and looked at some of those, and some of those are really good. They're really yeah, they do a really good job of vividly showing you like the interaction between characters and parts of the world. So I recorded some of those as just little audio books, and they're fun. Yeah, like the same way I did that lore series, but just no video. It goes a lot quicker when it's just audio, no video editing. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah, you got to do that. Yeah, so we do that. So it'll be maybe like 1 o'clock Australia time. We do the live stream of that. Yeah, I gotta figure out. So I have them on Patreon. I have those stories on Patreon. Maybe I'll put those on like on the membership for the YouTube on that Upturned Table channel too. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. No. Yeah, that's the thing is that was the first time I think I'd ever clicked into Facebook, like I'd gone beyond my page and then, you know, like the weird notifications and stuff. So, yeah, I just don't look at people's pages or anything. And so I was just like morbidly curious. I clicked on that guy's name and just saw a bunch of people wishing him happy birthday. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. We're all headed there. People are going to be wishing us all kinds of weird things after we're dead. It's just the tragedy. I think that's the reason that it like hits me so hard, and is like all I can do is like be amused by how crazy it is because the tragedy of that. Like it was a really tragic death. He was a very really nice guy and really successful too. Like, you know, doing well in kind of that kind of, you know, international embassy work and stuff, and had moved back home so his family could enjoy their granddaughter, I can't remember. God. Grandchild, and then that's it. Yeah, that's always the way. Best laid plans. Yeah, think how hard and how much they planned, and they probably bought a house and everything, and then just, it's over. Yeah, so the tragedy of that is pretty harsh, and Facebook isn't making it any easier. That's terrible. Oy. Oh. Yeah, but I hope everyone else is doing well. No weird weird Facebook interaction. Yeah, I can't believe how many times the streaming that I'm using, the Restream service, keeps getting kicked out of Facebook. Like, Facebook keeps changing however their live events work or whatever. So it just doesn't connect. So I always have to check to make sure that it went through. Because surprisingly, that's a good source of viewers. Because it's public, it goes up publicly. So if anybody went to my Facebook, they could see it. They don't have to. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they don't have to be a friend. So that works well for just getting casual people to see the stream. What? Oh, yeah. No, that's true. That would be, and I think about that sometimes too. Yeah, the how would my family respond if like something happened to me, like I was in a car accident or something and died, like suddenly, living so far away, like that wouldn't even feel real because they haven't seen me, because of the pandemic. They haven't seen me in a long time. I haven't physically visited. So for me to just be suddenly gone would be really strange. I don't think there would be a lot of closure. And I even said, like, I was telling my family here, yeah, you don't have to ship me back to the U.S. You can just burn me here, and if they want my ashes or whatever, like it doesn't have to be a big deal. But at the same time, if I died before my parents, that would be very strange for them to be like, oh, he's dead, and okay, and he's cremated, okay, so what exactly happened? Yeah, it's very strange. Oh, streaming on Reddit, that's a good idea, yeah. Yeah, especially because there's or there was, when it was the previous name for the hobby podcast. There's a subreddit for that. Maybe I should try to do a subreddit for the new name, and yeah, then try to stream to Reddit. That's a good idea because I think that would get, because I've interacted a little bit on Reddit with the different game. Oh, sorry, the different game subreddits, but yeah, I don't know what would be the best way to do that, because I don't think I can change the name of a subreddit. I've not. Yeah, I don't know it well enough. So maybe you can. That would actually probably be better. Just be able to change it instead of making a new one. I don't know what I'm drawing here. Yeah, that would be a good audience too, especially for the tabletop stuff. Yeah, this is the other funny thing I was running into is I was looking at places to submit short stories to, and maybe submitting the Nmity Stories, but in the new definition of things, I wonder if they're considered, because I made the YouTube videos, like the podcast and the YouTube videos of the audio story. I wonder if those are considered published, like previously published, because a lot of previously published, because a lot of journals and things that publish short fiction want unpublished. They want to be the first time. They want like first time rights or whatever that is for your stories. So I've not printed them anywhere, but I have made them into audio fiction. So I wonder if that counts as publishing. I have no idea, and maybe they don't either. Maybe they don't really know. So it's probably worth taking a chance. But that doesn't really. I mean, I might find a little bit of an audience, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like all the effort of submitting, because I have to, like, get an editor and then do formatting for the stories to make, if I want to have the best chance of them getting published. But I don't think that's really going to mean anything. Just like my, not speaking badly of my syndicator, but when this cartoon was first syndicated, I was like, wow, now I'm going to be able to make a living off of this cartoon. I'm a cartoonist now, and I'm professional, and they're going to submit me everywhere, and I'm going to have these, insane paychecks from just my cartoons. And in the age of webcomics, that doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, syndication doesn't mean what it used to. But I think the same thing with being published, especially if it's like an online journal or something. It doesn't really mean you found any sort of audience or anything. It may mean some other writers read your stuff. It's usually what it means. Like poets and short fiction, short story writers, all they do is their audience is just other writers, basically, supporting each other. Yeah, I'll have to see, and I'll just wait for them to. Yeah, I'll just wait for them to see. Yeah, hey, Lil Will, welcome back. Yeah, not much. I'm just drawing paper. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if those little audiobooks that I made of my stories, if that counts as publishing or not. Who knows in this world what anything means anymore? But they probably just mean it's been published like in their competition, or if you like self-published it. Like if it's on Amazon in some kind of self-published capacity. Because yeah, a lot of the journals want, I think it's called first rights. They want first rights to stories, so that they are the original source of things. Because they pay. That's the reason that they pay per word. So there's a lot of online journals and stuff. So I'm wondering if it's worth it to submit the Nmity Stories around to see if I get any attention. I don't know though. And it seems like with science fiction, you don't want to be white and male and write science fiction anymore, because no one is interested. They're looking for new unique I can't even say it. New unique voices, and that ain't me. So yeah, that's a little bit discouraging. It's like when you look at like the Nebulas or the Hugos or whatever, all the awards. Yeah, it's it's very directed at women of color, and I'm neither. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have to see. But I get so much happiness out of writing those stories. I can't believe that I've actually finished, because it was so long that I've tried to actually write anything. It's been forever, because my ex was a short fiction writer, and so I never even tried. I guess I wanted to. Like, I wrote little fragments of things like back when I was a student, but she had a lot of finished short fiction and got it published. Like, she actually had, I don't know if she did readings or anything, but she definitely had, she had publishing credits. And I never wanted to do the same thing. I don't know why. It just felt weird. But yeah, those stories, when I had that idea and was kind of like talking through those ideas over lunch with Chris, the same person I do the Upturned table lunch thing with. Yeah, that's basically those stories came out of those lunch meetings, and then that podcast came out of those lunch meetings. But yeah, so I want to do something with it, because that's a real source of enjoyment. Kind of like this cartoon. It's one of those things, like short fiction it doesn't take you years to produce, so it's a much more immediate connection. Like, you get your idea out very quickly, and then you can share it with other people much more quickly than a lot of other, than animation or, even short films or whatever. There's a lot less production time and limitation. So I keep finding these things that I enjoy the production of because of the immediacy and how now there's an audience that you can reach, digitally. So being able to create stuff quickly is much more satisfying. At least you just get the feedback, whatever the endorphins or whatever it is, you get some sort of feedback right away. Which I guess in some ways is bad, because a lot of the feedback you get on the internet is, you suck. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, creative stuff is really funny, especially when you like try something new, like try some medium or do something new that you haven't done before. Like moving into like 3D or wanting to do something feels strange because you know that there's people that have done it so much longer, that are so much more accomplished, that have a better understanding of how the medium works. So I feel like that with writing very much. It's just like, God, there are people that really understand like how to get things out of their head onto the page, and then once they're on the page, how to make them kind of perfect them, like strip them down to being very clear and very accurate versions of what was in their head. So that takes time, and just like with drawing and things too, the connection of your head to your hand, it takes a lot of work to get that to be strong, to be very effective. I couldn't believe that was a really crazy thing. I spent in Chicago in undergraduate school, an art school undergrad. They had a summer program where you came in every day and you drew for 8 hours a day. There was a model there, and you did life drawing, figure drawing for 8 hours a day for like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, like almost a month in the summer. And it's insane how much better you get that quickly, and actually having the real formal style of just doing it again. It's the increase in your skill, just like your control and your eye and everything, is insane. That was really crazy for me, how fast that changed, because it's not a very long time, but you're dedicating so much time in that less than a month. You're dedicating so much to it that you get an amazing result. But I guess it'd be the same, like if I worked out every day, it'd be the same thing. The results would be noticeable. So it's a kind of a physical training, but that was really amazing. I wish I could do that, not just as a student, but I wish there was time to do things like that. Oh, good night, K5. Thanks for hanging around. It was good to see you online. Thanks for catching the day off. Oh, no. Yeah, get some good rest. Sorry, we're keeping you up so insanely late for your early mornings. Have a good day soon. Yeah, it's crazy. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to where my microphone is. Yeah, K5 was a huge part of this live stream still existing. I think if iPhonics wouldn't have found me, and then if K5 wouldn't have been, very regularly on my live stream, I would have stopped doing it. It almost stopped that year that happened. That was so funny. But yeah, good guy. Oh man. idea for this second cartoon. No ideas. Oh yeah, so Japan has, I don't know much about it, so I won't be able to speak well about it. But yeah, we have a new prime minister, or will have the first part of the election. So maybe similar to England, they elect parties here. So there's a diet, and you vote for your party, and then the party has an internal election, and they choose the prime minister. Is that what it's called? Prime minister? Yeah. So that first vote, that first internal vote happened. Then I think there's a larger prefectural vote. So the party member, or yeah, not the active. So party members and also the prefecture's representatives vote. So the initial thing happened, and there were there are 2 men and 2 women. And so I was like wondering if Japan was going to have a female prime minister, but neither of them had got enough votes, and one of them was a little bit conservative, kind of war hawk. So having to deal with China, it's probably not a good idea to have somebody that's antagonistic to China. So yeah, a lot of people were looking at her because and everybody. It's so funny, the Abe, the longest term prime minister for a while of recent history. Everybody that was associated with his administration, because things were not amazing, but they were getting a little bit better under him. Everybody connected with his administration is getting a lot of benefit from that in the party. So yeah, this guy that won the internal vote, the party vote, he was a minister under Abe as well. So we'll see. He, I think, is a better choice. There was a kind of a very Chinese sympathetic candidate, because his brother had a lot of business deals with China. So he, in his other role as a politician, had done a lot of favorable deals to help his brother's company working with China. So it would be good to not have that leading the country. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how. I would not. This is not a good time to try to run Japan. Hey, Michael Scott, how's it going? Nice. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the that's so insane that Apple did that. Yeah, you've got with the one lightning port, or I think they changed it again, did they? It's like USB-C now, but yeah, there's no headphone jack, so no headphones and charging, because why would you want to do both? It doesn't make any sense. You have to plan ahead, or you have to only use Bluetooth everything, because Bluetooth works so well. There's I don't know what they're using, if they're actually using Bluetooth or some kind of wireless signal, but there's parking lots, paid parking lots in Japan, that if you're wearing Bluetooth headphones, they interfere with the signal. So you get this weird this weird signal interruption. So I don't know what technology that is, but whatever flavor of Bluetooth I have on this device is not not able to block that out, or not being able to avoid that. So I get weird walking around certain parking lots. Have, I think, wireless. So they have all these units in each parking space that has a wireless unit that's transmitting back to the little thing where you pay, the little ATM thing where you pay. And because it's all wireless, it's got some signal, and the field is it interrupts Bluetooth. So that's brilliant. Yeah, it's such a weird. I mean, I guess it's a good way to make phones almost waterproof if there's there's fewer holes in it. And I guess that was the thing too. Somebody was showing like a headphone jack, the way that things are getting miniaturized, a headphone jack is actually like so much interior space, and the engineers are fighting for like every millimeter they can of space inside the phone for different components. So as soon as they eliminated the headphone jack, that gave you so much more, like, Wi-Fi antenna and whatever, that, gave you so much more room for the battery and other things that are all sandwiched in there. That's the last job I would want to have. I mean, I guess some of that problem solving would be fun, but ugh. Your whole department is like, we just need, can you just give us, we need 3 more millimeters in here to get this specific component that we designed. This is exactly what we need to do. And they're just like, no. Work around it. Find an alternative. Yeah, that would really suck to be low in priority for whatever you were working on, and just like, no, yeah, we're not going to do that. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that probably, that makes sense. Yeah, I haven't read anything about that, but yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, some U.S. consumer wireless microphones have illegal frequencies. Yeah, because I think different countries, like, kind of portion off the bandwidth in different ways. So maybe they have like things that official systems or government use or whatever. Yeah, that's interesting. You'll have to play around with that and listen in to all the things I'm not supposed to be hearing. Yeah, I wonder if it's like, yeah, police radio, or what is it that they're, the bandwidth that they're trying to protect. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that was the thing. I'm not sure if they fixed that yet, but I remember very early when I was in Japan, people were shocked. The iPhone, the GSM bands or whatever that iPhones used in the U.S. on the U.S. networks and on the Japanese networks were totally different. So the iPhone was much cheaper in America, so people wanted to buy it in America and use it in Japan, but it had to be the Asian model. I'm not sure if that's fixed, if they've changed what frequencies they're using or whatever, but I remember that people were being really frustrated by that because the phones were super expensive when they first came out in Japan, so people wanted to buy them in the US, but they weren't compatible. So it was meaningless. So you were stuck with this like really, really overpriced iPhone in the early days. Or, buying into the carrier plans here. Oh, that's something that they just started doing here. So the government started to force cell phone carriers to offer to decrease the price of their monthly service. So the service charge, or what the cell phone carriers can charge for their bandwidth, and the G5 or for G5, 4G or 5G network access, has to be more affordable. So the Japanese government stepped in and kind of forced those prices down to the most of the cheapest level that the carriers could afford. So they lost a certain amount of revenue. So their response to that is, you have a 2-year contract for a cell phone carrier, but if you subsidize the phone itself, if you don't do like a SIM-free untethered phone with that account, if you subsidize the phone from them, the contract for the payment of the phone is 4 years. So 2 years for your cell phone contract, 4 years for the phone. None of these smartphones last 4 years. They're garbage in 2 years. Like they bake. All the components are cooking themselves to obsolescence just within 2 years. So when you go to change phones, then they'll credit you back what you need to pay for those last 2 years when you start a new contract with them for the service, but you have to turn in your old phone. So it used to just be, you kept your phone, you got a new contract, and you got another phone, new contract, another phone, because it was 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. But now it's 2 years for the service, 4 years for the phone, and but the payments are the same. It didn't make the phone cheaper to buy. The payment that you're paying every month for the equipment fee, you know, the phone, is the same. So they're doing something. They're probably reselling these phones on a secondary market, and they're going to, like, you know, India or Africa or wherever, you know, a secondary market that needs cheap refurbished phones. So that's so shady. That really sucks. But that's the stupid thing about government regulation, is it just forces companies to respond in a way that's gonna, you know, not hurt their bottom line. So they're gonna do really stupid things like that. Somebody will come up with a way to, you know, play with the system and, you know, keep screwing the consumers. So government is very incapable of protecting consumers from the sort of exploitation, because then now the government needs to make another law that says the company, the cell phone carriers, cannot resell phones. Cannot be in that business if they want to fix that. But that really sucks, because those are not, it's nice for kids, you know. Anybody that's got kids knows that it's nice to give them your old cell phone, you know, with no SIM in it, and they can just use it like as a Wi-Fi device. That makes it very cheap. You don't have to buy a new phone for a child. But now that doesn't even exist anymore, because nobody has their old phones, because unless you want to pay whatever that is, like $500 or whatever, to keep it after your contract is up, you have to turn it in. So what a scam. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Michael Scott, that's good. Yeah, you can. They have the, like, SIM card rentals basically in Japan. So if your phone's compatible, you can just, like, get a weekly rate on a SIM card and just slide in a Japanese SIM card while you're here, or a SIM-free phone. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Nice for tourists. Yeah, because it used to be really unfriendly and really bad. Like, so if your cell phone didn't even work here, previously there weren't rentals, and there wasn't good free Wi-Fi, so you couldn't even use your foreign cell phone as a Wi-Fi device and, you know, communicate through, you know, line, you know, voice calls or whatever. Yeah, so it used to be really bad. So it got a lot better, I think, as they realized how big tourism was here. They had to start making those moves to make it friendlier for people to visit. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I miss phones with headphone jacks in them too. Yeah, I hate Bluetooth. Hey Joe, how's it going? Good to see you. You just missed K5. We kept him up too late, so K5 is retired for the night, so he can get up in the morning. Good to see you. Yeah, sorry about the different schedule, but yeah, this week was crazy. Yeah, schedule-wise, it was just not gonna work. Okay, wait a minute. What about, as I was drawing very early on, I was drawing tissue boxes. Let's go back in time. Yeah, maybe these don't match very well, though. But yes, I'm standing up. I don't know. I think those are drawn a little too strangely. Yeah, maybe that works. I don't think that makes much sense. Yeah, but just a vertical tissue. Yeah, maybe something about that weird interconnected pile of tissues. I don't know if I can actually draw that so it reads as. I'll have to do a lot of this kind of thing. So it reads like, oops. Yeah, the pressure sensitivity is not perfect, or it's not so amazing as my big tablet. It's fewer levels, like hundreds of levels as opposed to thousands of levels, so it's much harder to yeah, get real nuanced variation in line width, which I'm sure is very interesting to everybody. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking, yeah, that. So if you took the tissue, the box away, you would just have that weird kind of interlocked, interwoven stack of tissue. But I don't know how interesting that is as a visual idea. Let's try some distortion. Nice. Oh. Yeah, I thought for sure I was going to have to miss this week because of the schedule stuff. But yeah, I'm glad Thursday worked out. Yeah, it'll be nice to be able to travel again. You don't know what you got until it's gone. It's just weird to not have that as an option. And so it's so funny. It's so, ironic and frustrating that 2020 was the year I was going to go back to the U.S. a couple of times during the year and visit family and try to get some business, try to get some new freelance stuff going. Of course it was. That was the year of big plans. Yeah, I don't know. Visually, this is not that interesting. And why is this tissue vertical? Maybe distort this a little bit. Yeah, kind of get it in the same proportions. Yeah, that's not too bad. I don't know. Nice. Oh, man. Yeah, really funny. Timing is very difficult. That should be, yeah, closer. Okay, I think this is... Oh. Actually be... If I resize it, it's not gonna look right, I don't think. Or maybe. Yeah, maybe. The lines get a little weird. Yeah, so yeah, Foundation was really good. If anybody gets a chance, if you have Apple Plus or do a trial or something, it's definitely worth watching. I'm just, yeah, really wondering how they're gonna tell that story, like how they're gonna make that make any sense, because it would be too difficult to have an hour show where every time you watch it there was different characters, or characters were different ages, so they're played by different actors. That seems like it would just be a little bit too disorienting, and you'd spend too much of the show saying, see who this is, remember this character, well, this is them, 35 years later. That seems like a lot of extra work for the writing to have to do. Who knows? Alright, yeah, this one's too wacky. Yeah, these actually look like paper towels more than tissue, don't they? Be a little bit shorter. That's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I think I have to come up with a better idea. I think just drawing this vertically does not make a great idea. Nice. Oh, so are you happy, Joe, that you got to keep your governor? Keep your governor in California? And New York has a new governor now. That's crazy. And she seems like more even wackier than Cuomo with her public everything, all her speeches she's giving and everything. And that one, there was a really weird clip that was going around on YouTube of her speaking at some church. And trying to make all the vaccine stuff sound religious, like God would want you to get it, take it. That's really weird. I think it's getting so desperate. I mean, they even said at the beginning, like back before stuff was being developed, before there wasn't even a shot that would fix things, or they thought would fix things. Back before that, they were saying they're going to be, I forget what they called them, but the holdovers, or the people that, so they get all the benefit of the shot, but without the risk. Because if you're the last few people to get it, you actually don't really need to get it. Because everyone else is going to have immunity. But I guess it's not working out that way. I guess they're finding out that it's not super effective, and the holdover people don't have that benefit. They're not getting the benefit of no risk and then no danger, of the virus. So I don't know. But I remember them talking about that very early days, there may be people, and I think that was actually Japan's position, is just, we're just going to hang back, because they were really slow. Their response to things was really, really slow, very wait and see style. And they moved quickly once it looked okay, but very strange that they were waiting so long. Waited so long. Okay, move this up. I don't know. Yeah, maybe just without a box, tissues did weird stuff. I don't know. Tissue got strange once outside the box. Yeah, maybe. Some overlapping would be good. Yeah, or maybe, yeah, these guys are together. I don't know why I thought the vertical tissue looked interesting. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, I think composing, not composing these like from the beginning is making it a little weird. Just the digital part of it. It's kind of strange. Oh well. I think it'll work. So color, yeah, otherwise it's going to be very white. I'll have to color the... I don't think they do that anymore. I think everything, at least here, everything is white. There's no more colored tissue or toilet paper or anything. The dangerous inks. But I'll have to, yeah, I've got to color them because it's going to be too boring otherwise. Visually, it'll just look weird. Once outside the box. Okay, oh, actually, I just want to make this one pink. Alright. And then maybe like a light green something. Let's see how this works. Not at all would be my guess. All right. Oh yeah, I guess that works. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Like without a box, or and maybe make those light blue instead of. It might not read like what I'm trying to do. I don't know. Try a little bit lighter. There we go. Maybe. Oh, I tried to watch. Oh, actually, that sounds so sad, but I actually kept falling asleep. I tried to watch *Malignant*, the Saw guy, the Conjuring and Saw guy. I can't think of his name. I think he directed a Star Trek movie too. What's his name? But he did, yeah, *Malignant*. He did like this, like Netflix. Is it no Netflix? I forget who it was. They gave him a bunch of money to do an original horror movie, and it was just weird. It was very like a, I don't know, like a Sam Raimi kind of weird experimental. It reminded me a little bit of Darkman or something. It was just the tone of it was really odd, but it was like a conjoined twin, spoilers, conjoined twin like horror movie. But it, you know, it takes the reveal takes a little while, but it's not a good reveal. It's like pretty dumb. This is going to be a weird. Speaking of dumb, this is going to be a weird cartoon, a weird, incomprehensible cartoon. Yeah, I want to get across the idea that. So maybe this. That this is tissues without a box. Maybe. Maybe that works. Maybe not. Oh, Saw with, yeah, that's right. No, yeah, I haven't seen that. The Spiral or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm really curious about that. Chris Rock in a dramatic horror movie role. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, yeah, no vacation. Just my daughter's schedule was crazy. So I had to pick her up. They were doing these weird half days, and but then she had to go back to school, and then she had after school stuff. So I was literally just back and forth all day. Couldn't be at work or doing anything for any length of time, and my wife is crazy busy now, so no no chance to so another good combination with this yellow. Yeah, no chance to be online for a stream long enough because I would have had to leave. It'd be like an hour and a half, 2 hour stream at the most, like at the very longest. So yeah, I had to squeeze it in today. Not orange. Today's the only day that it was going to work. Maybe just kind of an off-white. Yeah. So sorry about the weird irregular schedule. But yeah, things are, and yeah, stuff is trying to be more normal. They lifted the state of emergency. Japan kind of had a casual state of emergency, like they do, last month. Ugh. And they just lifted it. But nobody knows what that means. Like, nobody knows what that's gonna... Because the trains and everything were on this weird restricted schedule. And, yeah, it was hard to know, like, what was going to be affected. So, tomorrow, October 1st, I don't know what that means when the emergency lifts, how that's going to affect things. Because some schools are still not in session or not physically meeting, so I don't know. I don't know what any of this is doing. I just would not want to be prime minister right now, or be being elected or chosen. Yeah. It was still because the numbers in Japan beginning of this month were crazy high. They were the highest that they've been ever, like since last spring. The 2020. Since 2020, it was the highest numbers of infections that they've had, but also the highest number of vaccination. So there was a state of emergency, but Japan cannot enforce it so heavily. So they just kind of say you should, and they encourage businesses to do this, and they and schools get to decide for themselves what they're going to do. And some schools went, because they were in the beginning of August, there were immediately a bunch of kids getting sick because of having to travel. They traveled for summer vacation, so when they went back in August, early September, there were kids getting sick, and that was starting to scare people. So yeah, they went into a kind of a heightened state of emergency. So yeah, we'll have to see it. Hopefully it doesn't, because that'll be the fourth, or so that'll be the fifth one in Japan, I think, officially. So if it happens again, then it'll be the sixth time that they've issued something. And they don't last very long. That's why there's so many of them. They don't last very long. It's like a month or two. But it changes some things. Some businesses can't be open. Like the restriction this month. This month meant no alcohol, no alcohol at restaurants, and they couldn't stay open past 8. But if you didn't obey that, there's nothing that there was no punishment. No, they wouldn't enforce any punishment or anything yet. But those were the kind of the guidelines. So now I guess that's over with, because there was talk of extending it into October, but they decided not to. But nobody knows what that means, and universities and public schools and stuff are all going to kind of decide separately what they want to do. Yeah, so just really high numbers. late August, early September, and it was kids too, so that of course freaks people out a little bit extra. But no horse dewormer. Oh, actually, speaking of, I'm not going to say the name of that drug, but the the horse medicine that they keep talking about on in American news, that was invented by a Japanese researcher. He won the Nobel Prize for that. But they don't. No one's using that here. It's very funny. So it's, it was a Japanese invented drug, but nobody's using it here because there aren't safety protocols for using it for specifically for the bad weather, our recent situation. But they have come up with protocols to use it against like Zika virus and some of the things that were like plaguing Africa for a while. There were protocols like dosages and recommended ways to use it to help fight against that. I think I have that right. Some was one of the kind of outbreaks in African countries. So it's very funny, yeah, that American doctors are trying to figure out how to use it, but the country where it was invented isn't doing anything with it. Yeah, I was talking to the professor at the university about it, and yeah, he said, yeah, we're not even using it experimentally. But it's really the thing that's frustrating about that is, I think it's just part of the, people telling you you're stupid and just do what we say and trust us, because oops, I that response or that treatment doesn't happen here. Like, people aren't having crazy refusal to get a shot or refusal to do certain things or whatever. Everyone's pretty compliant, and so there's not a varied. It's not politicized, and there's not varied opinions about things. So it's very interesting that in the U.S., if you're rich enough, you're getting all kinds of experimental treatment for this. There's therapies. And if you're not, they just tell you to go home and stick it out, unless you're having like respiratory failure or whatever and need hospitalization. If you test positive, they're just like, okay, go home for 2 weeks and just, so it's very strange. But anybody that of any value to the system, to the market, gets amazing therapies to recover as fast as possible. So yeah, I don't know. The have and the have-nots are it's very clear in the U.S. who those people are. Less so here. Which is very interesting. Because CEOs of the big companies here they don't get multi-million-dollar bonuses and aren't like ridiculously overpaid. So in some ways it's a little frustrating. So foreign executives, like you had that scandal, the little tiny, I don't know what nationality he was, but the executive of Nissan that they smuggled out of the country in the speaker case, the roadie box for some sort of audio equipment. They put him in a little case and snuck him out of the country because the Japanese government was going to go after him for like embezzling or whatever from Nissan, because he personally considered himself undercompensated, underpaid, so he did something where he was taking money out of the company. Gozan, and was convicted of it, and then had some American ex-military and his son put him in a little box and sneak him out of the country as cargo. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. That was a couple of years ago, and the America extradited the father and son to stand trial in Japan for doing that. Because that was just like, telling Japan to fuck off. That's super disrespectful of their of the country and their immigration and their their justice system is just to say, yeah, no, we're not going to extradite. So yeah, but they did. So that takes some real balls to just human traffic a guy right out of the country. That looks like it's not butter. It looks like, well, what color is? I can't believe it's not butter. It's some. What color is that package? I think I've done a. I can't believe it's not butter. Joke before, I'm sure. Do they even make that anymore? Oh, it's yellow. Yeah, it's just bright yellow. Yeah, they knew, they figured out how he did it. They smuggled him out of the country, and he went to Lebanon or someplace that has zero extradition agreements with Japan. But those guys were American, former military, so they just went back to the U.S. And so then Japan requested that they be extradited to be punished for breaking the law here in Japan. And originally they fought it pretty hard, but you know, they had no reason. Politically, there was no reason to you know, mess things up with Japan. That there was no, whoops, what's going on here? There was no reason to not turn him over. So they did. Yeah, but the guy that they worked for is totally safe. He didn't have suffer any consequence because he's not going to be, his country is not going to, the country he's in is not going to throw him out. Sorry, I'm not trying to be confusing. Just not making a lot of sense. But yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's safe. And he's very righteous in, like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he was owed that money or whatever. So yeah, it's a little strange. So I don't know what the real deal is, and we'll probably never find out. He just can never come back to Japan or work for a Japanese company again. But I'm surprised how many international executives Japan uses, and then because they don't treat them the same, they treat them very differently. So why are they so shocked when, you know, they get frustrated with not being heralded as, you know, like you know, regarded as gods, and want to have these like insane salaries and bonus structures and stuff. Yeah, it's just very different, like culturally, very different. And the same thing with actors and you know, celebrities here. They're treated a little badly. Like, the press is kind of abusive. The gossip magazines and stuff are very abusive to Japanese celebrities, more like British style, tabloid style. And but they don't go too far. There's like certain rules that they follow, which maybe they don't in England. But like the paparazzi isn't like super aggressive the same way. But they're treated, the system and everything treats them pretty rough. They don't have this god-like status, and people don't like hang on their every word and, you know, buy their products and everything. Like, you can't merchandise the heck out of yourself. You know, there's no goop.com equivalent for, you know, Japanese celebrities like there is in the US. So they're not treated, they're just treated like that's, you know, it's their job, it's their career. Not like, you know, royalty or anything. I guess any country that has actual royalty doesn't have to treat actors and singers like they are yes, special. But what's my point? Yeah, anyhow. But yeah, it's different. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a culture shock, I think, for Western executives because the compensation is not so amazing in Japan. You know, it's a very international market that you have access to, but you're going to feel undercompensated and you may start embezzling like Nissan executives. Yeah, it's so funny. So Nissan is like a distant third, you know, like the top automakers. It's like Honda, Toyota, maybe Toyota, Honda, Nissan. But yeah, Nissan keeps screwing up, so they're always going to be a distant third. They'll never... Oh, maybe here. They'll never catch up because every time they seem to be doing better, they have some weird scandal. All right. Oh. Yeah, yeah. Right, right. Yeah, they didn't get caught at the time when they smuggled the guy out, but they figured it out later. It's like because they had no idea. It's like, well, he's gone. Where did he go? Where did he go? And then they kind of tracked it back to the only possible place. And then I think once they got out of the country, they were kind of like, ha ha ha, you know, this is how we did it or whatever. They were not not very secret, you know, not very quiet about having pulled that off. And maybe because they thought they could just bully, you know, the Japanese government and just ignore any extradition. I don't know. Butter and tissue. All right. Well, let's look at some comics or comments or something. Oof. Old Fabio is depressing. He's still promoting I can't believe it's not butter. But his hair is getting pretty thin. Fabio's hairline is receding pretty bad. I can't believe it's not Fabio. All right. Okay, so yeah, let's do some comments here. Let me put you guys in chat over here. Oh yeah, so that Malignant was not great. I couldn't stay. It was kind of like a wacky action horror thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I couldn't. James Wan. That's the director. Yeah, so the guy that did, he was part of the team that did the original Saw, and he did Conjuring and Insidious and stuff. So he did a new movie. Oh, and the weird suspicious thing, the reason why it might suck so bad, I'm being very judgmental, is I think it was a story recommended to him by his new wife, and his new wife is in the movie, and she was like a Romanian model or something. She doesn't look like a model, but she's in the movie, and I think it was like her story idea or something. So they, you know, it's a kind of a couples project or whatever. So that explains the drop in quality, because he's a little maybe love blind. He's like, oh yeah, it's brilliant, honey. Would definitely do to make that movie. So I think he was a little too in love to make a good movie. Anyhow, enough bashing on James Wan. Let's do some comments. Oh, all right. So yeah, last week. Where are we here? Yeah, so September 28th, today, last Tuesday, that's right. It's not, I missed Tuesday, it's Thursday. So last Tuesday he was a first class parcel in a junk mail world. And yeah, a little bit of, so am I. Nice. And I couldn't top that. That's so funny. Everyone's trying to one up each other in the comments. Nice. But he's a keeper, not so the others. Ed usually does have the best the best replies. Okay, September 23rd. Oh, the sweaty class. 23rd was, she was surprised how political the use of coasters has suddenly become. Uh-oh. 5 comments. Help stop damaging table rings, be our guest. Use a coaster. Oh, nice. It's, what is that, Beauty and the Beast lyrics? Quick, sing Young Blood. She shouldn't be surprised men still make the rules. I don't understand what this comic even means in general. So always there's one of these people that, like, I don't know how they find this cartoon, but they do, and it's just, what the fuck is, it's always a what the fuck comment. So be curious why not says, I don't understand what this comic even means in general. Can someone explain? Always. They're following the style of a time. A mask. Oops, no, a coaster. Yeah. Well, this guy got it, at least. Radical mom. This radical mom got it. So are they, I wonder if they're meaning if in general, or maybe just didn't get the joke or doesn't understand the mask thing. But always there's one of those comments where someone is like, huh? And sometimes it's a joke, and sometimes it's like the title of the cartoon, and like, how does that relate to what's going on? And that's funny. It's been a while. So these, if I do another, actually, I should save this because, always there will be somebody that needs an explanation. So where can I put this? Let me see. Oh, let me just do it here. Yeah. So it's been a while though. I have to dig for those. It's been a while since one of those what's going on comments. So I'll save it because that's what I did. The quotes on the book are always that. The people's bewildered comments. All right. So I'm following the style of the times. Let's go back one more. So the 21st was, oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't think we saw any comments on this, and because I think it had just gone out. There was some confusion. Of course. It's not their fault that I didn't explain, I didn't tell a good joke. Yes. All right. So 21st was there was some confusion between collectible and edible. Uh-oh. Chromosome didn't like that one. Uh-oh. But somebody replied, me too. Oh. Everyone's... Yeah, I guess it didn't quite come across what that was supposed to be. Those won't be edible just because you pour milk on them. Ed's got it. Looks like... Oh, a pack of Pokemon cards. There we go. All right. Chromosome figured it out. Okay, it's not a great joke. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely an older crowd that I should like the cartoon so I can keep track of the ones that I read. It's definitely an older crowd, so if I make some references, oh yeah, steak. Uh, and one more like. Is that me? Oh, that was me. Steak and potatoes, anything but a kale smoothie. All right, yeah, I think we saw that one. Saw a couple of random. And this is, it's good to, oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. That's an old one. Yeah, though, so the style, look how small the eyes are, too. The style, with the marker, I kind of got, so what is this? By 2010, drawing with the marker had gotten pretty standard. Like, I came up with that style, kind of perfected how that looked. And then I changed to digital. But yeah, you can tell just the wonkiness is marker on paper because it's not, I don't fix it. I just scan it straight in. Without fish, all they had left was really nasty water. Fish pee in water all the time. Leave it and soon you'll have pet mosquitoes. Nice. And soggy fish flakes. And yet some parts of the world, thirsty families wait in long lines. Oh. Oh, that's so depressing. Yikes. Fish will most likely live. Water. Yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely a an old style. But yeah, the style is much, you can see compared to the very early ones, it's the look of things is pretty standardized. This is, yeah, this is still marker. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I guess the big giveaway is the size of the eyes, because I just go ding ding, you know, just like two little dots, and if it's a new Sharpie, that's a very fine point. It was possible that decorative and useless meant the same thing. Don't tell the reality show bimbo said it. Decorative and useless. 2014. How many more? A coffin-shaped birthday cake was as tasteless as it was factually accurate. Depends. Is it for zombies? Oh, I guess I've seen this before. Always a fan of dark humor and dark cake. Yay. Yeah, maybe I've seen this one before. All right. 2006. Yeah, there's a really old one. And nobody saw it. Yeah, but see, even because it's marker on paper, the eyes here are almost bleeding together because the marker bleeds on the paper a little bit. So the eyes kind of blended. Oh, let's go back. It'll be a different random one, though. Oh, no. I just want to mark and make sure I remember what I saw. New random. Ew. The no-label can opening marathon was producing mixed results. The green glap is good for you. The orange glap is bad for you. The tan glap is just right. Looks like last night's dinner. Oh, Podog is still around. I wonder what it was. Yeah, that's a digital. Yeah, definitely. I probably drew that on stream, actually. Yeah, I gotta get out of the stuff I've been doing lately. Has been really stagnant. Get a new mindset. 2010, December 2nd. After a single stain, dinner napkins lost all sense of themselves. Lol. I never get these comics. There's another one. Finally, I'm building my list back up of the what the fuck comments. One doesn't dissect Gossamer. Oh. What whose quote is that? Cartoons are like gossamer. One doesn't dissect gossamer. Yeah, that's a quote from the cartoon, 1998. Oh, Seinfeld. It's a Seinfeld quote. Ah, I see. Of course, it's a Seinfeld quote. So, Elaine is talking to Mr. Elenoff, played by Paul Benedict. Miss Bennis, cartoons are like gossamer. One does not dissect gossamer. Well, you don't have to dissect it if you could just tell me why. Tell me why this is supposed to be funny. Oh, it's merely a commentary on contemporary mores. But what is the comment? It's a slice of life. No, it isn't. A pun? I don't think so. Vorstein? Vorstein, that's not a word. You have no idea what this means. No. Then why did you print it? I like the kitty. Nice. Yep. So that was actually a Seinfeld quote. That's pretty funny. All right. Finally, someone is being mean on my comments. The abuse is what we, the readers, endure. Oh, nice. God. Finally. See, that's why I've been going back into the comments. I've been looking for these, and they haven't come up for a while. They went from bring the bell of the ball to that thing used to pick up hairballs. Ah. Oh, no, I don't. I never get these comments. Abuse is what the readers adore. Yes. Okay, it's not that's like... Okay, just Seinfeld. That's not bad. Trekker Mint. Lol. I wonder if she was LOLing the I don't get it comments or the cartoon itself. All right. One more. That's good. This was a good good negative comments day. So 2007, one like. For her dishwashing, is it me? Oh, no, it's not. For her, dishwashing was a bubble-filled fantasy world that smelled of lemons. Nice. Dishwashing. Why did I hyphenate dishwashing? Oh, that's weird. Oh, well. Yeah, the before they started the kind of premium membership and everything, when this site was just open to free, you know, it was only free people that were not paying or chose to have that comic put in their inbox, like sent to their email. The comments were vicious, like really, really mean. It was like 90s internet, though, you know, everything was meaner. But I love the what the fuck comments. They used to be a lot more common. now I have like developed some regular readers. So a little different. That's funny. There's a Seinfeld quote. People love their Seinfeld quotes. All right. So we got things colored, and I guess we have to write something now. Oh, sorry. How's everyone doing? That was a wacky comment section. Yeah, it's been a while though, because I do that every week, and most of the time it's just regulars, either no comments or the regular people that are kind of used to the tone. And that's the thing, like if just like with a movie or whatever, if you don't get it, then it's not, there's nothing wrong with you, and you're not being insulted by the filmmakers or the writer or the cartoonist or whatever. It's just they failed to connect with you, to communicate with you. So why are you so angry about it? There's a funny thing about anything that's in print or in media, that people feel like they're owed some sort of that connection should work. And if it doesn't, then the person's making fun of them. I think, yeah. Well, I think that's because, of America's kind of, North America's kind of funny, weird way that people are arrogant and condescending to each other. But oh, good. Nice. But the yeah, it's really funny. Like people get offended and act like this is condescending, and it's like no, I'm just trying to be funny or cute or something, whatever the cartoon is trying to do. So if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and that's my failure, not yours. So it's weird. It's really strange. I think it just comes from kind of a snobbery that's developed around some certain media that people get offended by. But I love that the abuse is what we, the readers, do adore. Yeah, I should change the name of the cartoon to something like "I am trying to hurt your feelings" or "I'm trying to make you feel bad." All right. So once out of the box, tissues. Yeah, so they weren't, and they kind of lost their purpose, or kind of one at a time out of the box is kind of an order or a what is it? It's the structure or something. Lost their something purpose. Yeah, just something about them being odd. The box does something to bring kind of order or structure to their lives, and without a box. Yeah, so I wanted the standing up one to be kind of odd, because actually the tissues aren't rigid enough to do that, but out of the box they don't know that. Lost all. It's not purpose though, and purpose isn't that funny. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They go. They ring the doorbell and so. Did you write this? Hey Lou, how's it going? Oh yeah, thanks for jumping on the stream. Yeah, yeah. Comments are funny, and they actually, like, people have gotten a lot. Well, I guess better and worse at the same time. Like people used to just be mean just to be mean. Like they weren't, like, trolling wasn't quite an aesthetic yet, and then there wasn't so much political infighting, or not infighting, political politicization of opinions, and people instantly saying, oh, you're this or you're that because you said this, and people calling each other sexist or racist or whatever, phobes, and so that's new and much meaner. But it used to be just people wanted to hurt each other by what they said online. That they're not trolling, they're just being like sociopaths. Those were the days, the simple wild west of the internet. Yeah, a few cartoons. Thank you, Lil Will. I think that's the good. That's the that's a good new title for the series. People try to read I don't get this, and they look up at the title. F you. And then they just they know that the whole thing is an insult. Yeah, yeah. Always I can try. That's what I strive for, is a what the fuck. I think some people creatively do that though. They want to be intentionally obtuse or just difficult so that people are frustrated. But I'm actually trying to make somebody laugh, or actually trying to make somebody go, "Aha, yeah," and not be intentionally frustrating or insulting. Maybe just without a box, like this once thing is not. Yeah, so something like without a box, and maybe facial tissues. And they're not particularly being weird, but I like this. Just got weird. They're not doing anything that weird, are they? So maybe I should make them all... Everything that's out of the box should just be blue. Because otherwise it's... Where's the... Oh, shadow. Yeah, so this should have come from maybe this stack. So one of these tissues, yeah, was undone, and then it was standing up. It's not laying down. Okay, so yeah, that's out of the box being weird, I guess. Without a box, facial tissues just got weird. Oh, that was supposed to be... Yeah, I don't need a comma there. Without a box, facial tissues just got weird. Maybe there's something better. And then a margarine butter joke. I think there have been a few of these. I can probably do a collected book of margarine butter jokes for this series. Yeah, what happened? Something strange happened to Kevin Smith, though, after the heart surgery, or whatever he had when he almost died from his blockage. Bad heart. But yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy. I hope he gets funny again. I used to really like in the early days of Smodcast. I thought that was a pretty entertaining... I forget, there was one little riff that they went on, one superhero thing, some Aquaman thing, that was really funny on the original Smodcast. But there always were weird hints in that podcast that they were really connected to the industry, and they were just kind of hacks. The guy that hosted it, like sometimes they'd have guests and it would just reveal they're all just hacks, just kind of scamming money out of production or out of movie studios and stuff. It just felt kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, because he was on that run for a while. It was right when Red State, when he kind of independently produced Red State and was going around the country like screening it and trying to get promotion. That was still early days of Smodcast. And I really liked the tone, and he was really funny. He just coughed a lot because it was always smoking on the stream, so you had to listen to a big fat guy like hacking his lungs out on a podcast. But it was funny. Yeah, I mean, he was really funny, and I think that's why he could do those like tours where he would just do the evening with Kevin Smith kind of stuff, because he's an entertaining storyteller. But something happened. I don't know. I think he just got too caught up in stuff. And then recently the He-Man stuff, he wrote or produced, I think he was a writer on one of those. There's several, I think there's been a few, but one of the He-Man series for Netflix, and was kind of insulting people that used to, I think, be on his side. He was kind of being insulting towards. And then his explanation, because he was on some podcast he does now that's just like a comic book podcast or something, pop culture thing, and he was being really shitty and talking about doing a very insider thing, and Netflix was saying it's all cool and fuck those guys and who cares what they say, and like it was really like he was taking the side of the shitty marketing douchebags from Netflix, and they were his buddies. It's like, yeah, it was weird. I don't know. But something happened. Something, I guess anybody going through such traumatic surgery will be altered. But yeah, he used to be a good good podcaster. Oh, no, that's right. There was something. Yeah, I did pay attention to that because he got cleaned up, right? Am I confusing him with Steve O, where he got real, like Steve O is like super clean now. He's like almost killed himself on drugs, and now he's like super straight edge and yeah, got his life back together. But did yeah. Well, I think because my father's father said that you feel so after, and I think there was some other like celebrity or something that was talking about that too, like David Letterman or somebody had heart surgery. So after that, after they've like literally cracked your chest open and you're healing from that surgery, like you feel very, very weak and vulnerable, like you've just been, split open, and like, you don't feel intact. And so things are very emotional and very, because Kevin Smith is like crying all the time on Instagram or whatever that platform is. And so I wonder if he felt some weird vulnerability and never quite recovered from that. So he lost his edge, or kind of like his sense of humor about the world that was enjoyable. And he's just trying to hold together his place in the world. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting, but I liked the previous pre-op. Oh God. I liked pre-op Kevin Smith a lot more, and I hope that doesn't happen to me. I hope I don't lose it someday. All right. But we were writing about butter. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny what happens, and people, change their, because he had a kid and got married and had a kid, and I think that changes you a lot. And then almost dying, and leaving the family, the thought of leaving the family behind, I'm sure was very affecting, and also not being able to eat anymore. Yeah, butter joke, right? Back to the butter. Oh, that's right. We got butter chocolate still. All right. See, there's something to look forward to. There's something still good in the world. Okay. So I'm not gonna do I can't believe it's not butter joke. Something about being naked and exposed. Unwrapped butter had a strange vulnerability. Can I even spell that? Oh, come on, where are we here? There we go. Unwrapped butter had a strange, maybe I don't need strange, vulnerability. That margarine would never understand. Never know. Because they don't have blocks of margarine, do they? Maybe they do. Unwrapped butter had a strange vulnerability, or a strange, felt a strange. That maybe understand is better. I don't know. Hey Joe, how's it going? Unwrapped butter felt a strange vulnerability that Margarine would never understand. Is there, yeah, there's still a... Yeah, I think that's better than my original idea. And it's inspired by Kevin Smith's heart surgery. mm. Yeah, that Margarine would never understand. Yeah, that works. How's my spelling? Cool. Unwrapped butter felt a strange vulnerability that Margarine would never understand. Felt is better. Thought of box facial tissues. Facial tissue? Yeah, maybe. Facial tissue just got weird. Yeah, color, I hope that reads as what it's supposed to, because I don't think there is such thing as color. Yeah, color tissue anymore. Nice. I don't know why the standing vertically tissue joke is. I think we've got another what the fuck comment coming. It's funny, I think the regular readers of this cartoon on Go Comics are just like, okay, yeah, it's the same tone, and even if it's not funny, they're just like, uh-huh. And they try to write a funnier comment than the joke in the cartoon. Without a box, facial tissue just got weird. Okay. And unwrapped butter felt a strange vulnerability that Margarine would never understand. The eternal conflict between butter and margarine. Yeah, I think margarine is just leaving the world after they realized it's not any healthier. It's actually could be worse for you in certain situations. Just use less butter. Oh, good. Yeah. I hope that, yeah, because I didn't want it all white would make that look very bleak and boring. It seems like. I think they stopped doing colored toilet paper. But yeah, maybe colored tissue is still a thing. Now they just do novelty toilet paper with politicians' faces printed on them and things like that. All right. Yeah, I think that works for both of those. So let me... Never understand. Let me make these into JPEGs. And then just save these real quick. Yeah, it's funny. Kevin Smith. Yeah, I think the whole Star Wars thing with him, and yeah, he just got two, because I think he either proposed. I don't think he got married. I think he proposed to his wife at like Skywalker Ranch and stuff. It's like, okay. Odd. Yeah, that's one of those places. I guess it's like getting married at Disney World or honeymooning at Disney World. This is one of those things you're gonna look back and say, "Oh yeah, why did we do that?" Yeah, I don't know. I guess though, yeah, Disney World's not a good example because there's some pretty like nice hotels and things there, nice restaurants and things, but I'm trying to think what's an example. There's like Las Vegas is a little bit like that, I guess. Looking back at having a cheesy hotel casino wedding is a little like, maybe that's not going to be the best memory ever. Especially when they knock down when they demolish the hotel to make way for something even more spectacular. Facial tissue just got weird. Oh, Skywalker Ranch. I think that the old head of Lucasfilm. Yeah, I think there was a story like he was there for a screening or something, and then I can't remember if they got married or just. I think he just proposed there, and he wanted to do that and was there for a screening and then had his wife come and then he tried to surprise her. This was an old. It was an old. I think Smodcast story, but I was like, "Ooh, really? Is his wife like really into Star Wars too?" Uh, Always somebody is more into it. I have a feeling. Uh, wow, October. That's crazy. Oh, yeah. Maybe let me open. Let me open a cartoon instead of this stupid default page on Photoshop. All right. Oh, Skinwalker. That would be pretty romantic, though. Skinwalker Ranch. There is that. What do they call it? I forget. But Skinwalker makes me think of that ranch. It's like a farm where they just throw dead bodies outside to rot, so they can like learn the how to measure exposure and like what insects do to a dead body and everything. So it's for research and it's for like crime investigation. When there's a murder victim somewhere, they can very accurately determine like how many days they've been exposed to the elements or whatever. But it's called something ranch, like something gross ranch. Skinwalker. Yeah, Skywalker. Sorry, Skywalker Ranch. But that's got a funny name too. That ranch or whatever is a research place where there's just a bunch of rotting corpses like thrown outside. But I mean, it sounds horrible. But yeah, if you like donated your body to science, like that would be a good use because it would really help find people's killers and understand the causes of death and everything if they knew how long you were outside. But yeah, you do have to get eaten by bugs and rot in the grass or in the field, but still it's useful. All right. Nice. Yeah, I forget what that's called. Anyhow, let's get on to the glorious butter chocolate. There we go. All right. So let's see how this keys. Oh, is the chime still quiet? Yeah, the chime's still quiet. So hopefully it didn't blow you guys away. All right. Oh, good. It doesn't key. Yeah, it's a little bit like a warmer yellow. I think the really light yellows key into green, but this one is kind of a warm, more orangey yellow. So this look here without this guy. This is the look of a very standard Hokkaido butter container here, a box. So the butter here it doesn't come in sticks. It comes in blocks, which is about maybe 2 sticks of butter together. And because it's metric, it's measured. It's like some metric unit. It's on a pound of butter. It's not a quarter pound stick or whatever those are. But it's a big box. It looks like this. It's a big box. But anyhow, so the thing that I needed to explain. So this is butter chocolate, and then after the butter chocolate, so the butter chocolate is, and can you guys see that? So the thing. Yeah, the thing. Let me get the plastic off. Maybe you can see it better without the shine of the plastic. So the cow is doing something very Japanese. So like I was saying, there are sounds to feelings. Feelings make sounds, and maybe because of manga, they need to express those things and have it be kind of understandable. Yeah, right. It's eating. That's right. A cow eating butter. Wait a minute. So emotions and feelings have sounds, and the thing that the cow is saying, or that's happening to the cow. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so at the end here, you can see. So this is butter choco ni kyun kyun desu. Kyun is a special sound. Kyun, so you can say you feel that, like you can. Yeah, it is kyun. So kyun is the sound your heart makes. Like when your heart, I think I had the English word for it before, but you have like this twinge, yeah. You have like a twinge in your heart, like a little like, oh, I love it so much. Like if something is, it's not if something is very cute, it's if something like has a effect on you, has like a really like, oh, I love it. It's so, and there's a gesture, you can see the little cow is going cute. So the kind of your heart is pinched or like affected by this by the amazingness of butter chocolate. So see the cow's little hand. I don't know why the cow has fingers, but the cow has fingers. It's holding butter chocolate. Yeah, it's holding butter. It's just holding butter. It loves butter. It's licking butter, actually. That's right. The cow is licking butter. That's kind of weird. That would be like eating your own breast milk ice cream, isn't it? Yeah, so the cow loves butter, and it's going cute. So it really loves butter because butter makes its heart like react strongly. So this is whoa. This is 2.8% butter. It actually says like right there. Oh, this will be fun. So you may see me have a Kevin Smith level cardiac response. But this is Fujiya. So Fujiya is that, they have the restaurant chain and the what's her name? The little the little girl sticking her tongue out. Yeah, that girl. She's not on here, is she? No. Peiko-chan. Peiko-chan. Okay, so here we go. What is butter chocolate? Oh, they're individually wrapped. Nice. So here we go. So this is a real common size of like little chocolate deal. It's white chocolate? Or it's yeah, we'll see. Well, it is butter. It looks just like butter. Okay, so this is butter chocolate, and the ingredients are chocolate, cocoa powder, butter. Oh, okay. Some kind of cheese. Ooh. Oh, wow. Oh, it smells like butter. It just smells exactly like butter. It doesn't smell like chocolate at all. And it's hard, so it's rigid like chocolate, but it smells just butter. Just smells like butter. Wow. Okay, here we go. Oh man. Oh, okay. So it's white. Why do I keep getting stuck with this white chocolate? It's a white chocolate base. It's really, really buttery white chocolate. I keep getting these things that are, I guess they think white chocolate is kind of this default medium for other flavors, because I think Kit Kat does that. If they do matcha or strawberry or something, it's white chocolate with the flavoring on top. Wow. This is just incredibly buttery white chocolate. But it doesn't taste like chocolate. That's weird. So it says chocolate. It doesn't say... And there's cocoa powder in here too. White chocolate has cocoa powder. That's crazy. It is. The smell is crazy though. It smells like butter. Like if I had a stick of butter and this chocolate, they smell exactly the same. It's really crazy. 2.8% butter. Yeah, but it's really sweet, like white chocolate is. White chocolate. Yeah, it does. It looks exactly just like regular white chocolate, but it's really butter. It's not the flavor of just taking a bite of a stick of butter, but it's really, really creamy, Yeah. It's really the really really buttery, and then the sweetness comes out. Very strange. I was hoping it was going to be better. I was hoping it was really buttery, dark chocolate like cocoa chocolate, but maybe butter is totally hidden. Maybe only white chocolate lets the delicious taste of butter through. So the first flavor is butter. It's weird. And the combination of the smell and the taste really does almost, it's almost like a taste of butter, like really sugary butter. I don't know. I am not a white chocolate fan, so it's really disappointing that so much of this stuff, and they don't even say. is, is this the cow's commentary? The cow really loves butter. That's weird. That's like getting high in your own supply, I guess. Yeah, the cow really loves butter. Yeah, it's worth a try. It might be something. Unknown Girl says, nope, not with that smell. Ah, it's weird. I was hoping that was going to be better. But yeah, it's definitely a novelty. And this is that you can definitely say, it was good to explain the kyun, kyun feeling. And yeah, so if you ever have that, so it's not like, oh, that's so cute. It's like a, whoa, it has a physical effect on you, and your heart like jumping, or the little twinge in your heart of, oh, I love it so much. That is kyun. And it's the kind of like, yeah, you express it by this gesture. So at least suffering through that buttery chocolate was a good way to explain kyun. Yeah, this definitely doesn't make me go kyun. It makes me go, very sweet, buttery. Yeah, so just a little bit of a variation on white chocolate. Butter is not a strong enough flavor, I think, to put over. Matcha or blueberry or something does kind of cover up white chocolate, but I don't know. But yeah, so Hokkaido is kind of the Wisconsin of Japan. So they have like all the dairy farming, pork, and so like their ham and bacon, and although they don't do like cured smoked American style bacon, they do like more Canadian back bacon, the thicker cut stuff. Yeah, but so corn and everything is all from the northern island of Hokkaido, because they have the more less tropical kind of seasonal schedule there, so they can grow more like North American style farming stuff can go on, and not so wet. But yeah, I don't know. Butter chocolate is not what I dreamed it was going to be. I was imagining some very, very rich, heavy chocolate, but it's just white chocolate and butter. Yum! Kyun. Yum is kyun, kyunin right away. Kyun. Nice. That's how I feel every time I see yum come up in the chat. Kyun. That's funny. Nice. Yeah, so another, we've got to hit one out of the park here eventually, but yeah, it's, I guess I just got to stay away from this stuff that's obviously white chocolate. Oof. Oh, nice. Yeah, that came from the cow, the cow licking the butter so lovingly. That's kind of weird. That's a weird thing to do. Oh man. Yeah, so butter chocolate is not, I was hoping. I saw that and I'm like, "Oh, that could be awesome." Yeah, it's funny. It's hard to because chocolate, especially here, is very, a lot of the flavors you can kind of tell they skew towards girls, like a lot of the packaging and the flavors and stuff that they choose. And then if they try to do something more rich and savory, they, it's called adult. They say adult chocolate. But Yeah, I don't know. Butter chocolate is not the best. That's too bad. Gotta find something. Gotta find something else. Yeah, now we're getting into the sweet potato pumpkin season, Japanese pumpkin. And Japanese pumpkins are pretty amazing because they're very small, very dark green skin, but you can eat the whole thing. They're very tender and delicious. The meat, the walls of the pumpkin themselves, is very tender, and so you can just steam it and eat slices of pumpkin, kind of like squash. It's more like a squash here, and I know I was so excited, especially because it had the butter packaging. The butter chocolate disappointed, but yeah. So now in the stores, there's a ton of sweet potato, Japanese sweet potato, and Japanese pumpkin flavored things. They even have the Frappuccino now at Starbucks is a sweet potato Frappuccino. So you guys, yeah, I don't even know how that would taste to like an American, palate now. I've kind of lost that sense. But yeah, Japanese sweet potato Frappuccino is going on right now. Hmm. But actually, the Japanese sweet potatoes, I guess steam them. They're roasted. I guess they're kind of roasted. They use hot rocks and they roast the. So if you like you were in a sauna and you didn't pour any water on the rocks, and just put potatoes on the rocks in a sauna, that they heat the potatoes so they're really really warm, and they just sell them. They just sell them out of a truck, heated on these stones, and they're really really soft and really warm and amazing. So in the winter, especially, the sweet potato truck is like an oasis because the potatoes are just slightly naturally sweet. It's not overwhelmingly sweet. It's not like a sickening, like overwhelmingly sweet. Just very lightly, perfectly sweet, and they're really soft and they're really warm. So super satisfying. And they used to be so cheap. Now the price is like kind of out of control. But it used to be like $1 or whatever for a couple of potatoes. Now it's like $5 for a couple of potatoes. But I guess they make a lot of profit. It's a high profit market. Yeah, and the pumpkin tastes different too. It's not so stringy. It's very smooth. The texture of it is very smooth. You know how like when you're cleaning out your jack-o'-lantern or whatever, the meat of the pumpkin is very stringy and like kind of, yeah, sinewy kind of. But the Japanese pumpkin is more like it's more like a potato in consistency, like a very firm potato after you steam it. Not starchy and fluffy, but it's I can't think of a good equivalent. But it's very nice. It's very pleasant to eat and not stringy or weird or anything. So it's like everything else in Japan, very mild taste. So it's slightly naturally sweet, and you can eat the skin too. The skin's pretty thick, but you can eat the skin as well. They don't peel the pumpkin; they just slice it up and they take the seeds out of the middle. But it's really good. Yeah, Japanese pumpkin is amazing. So if you go to a restaurant that serves like sometimes the teppanyaki style restaurants, if it's a real one, not benihana, but like a real one, a benihana style where they cook on the big metal grill, whatever that's called, the big surface. It's called teppan. It's called a teppan in Japan. So a teppanyaki restaurant, a lot of times they'll grill pumpkin or different Japanese vegetables, and so you can try pumpkin there. If they import it, I don't know. I don't know. It might be a hard thing to get. It's really good though, but they're really tiny, and you can't make a jack-o'-lantern out of it because they're really thick. So, yeah. So the look is somewhere between a gourd and a pumpkin, but they're real tender, so you can eat them. Yeah, really yummy. Oh, but yeah, you'll get a lot of grilled vegetables and things. You'll get pumpkin in there because it's a nice like with green beans or some other type of vegetable. It's not sweet. A little bit of pumpkin or a little bit of sweet potato is really nice. And they also do a candied sweet potato. So they'll make like French fries out of a sweet potato and then coat them in kind of a little bit of a sweet syrup, very light, but it hardens. That's good too. Yeah, so kind of sweet potato French fries are kind of good. I think they make sweet potato fries, and those are like a southern thing, right? But yeah, sweet potato French fries are good in Japan too. But not butter chocolate. uh, yeah, I don't know. So that was a very disappointing. That was a very disappointing one. I should have had a backup. I should have had something else that would back it up. Too bad. Yeah, it's becoming bigger in Japan, Halloween, because maybe now they can't. I think last year they tried to cancel it, but people still kind of informally held it. Now there's I think in Shinjuku, maybe Shinjuku, like the big kind of crazy area of Tokyo. Tokyo has a kind of get together of like an outdoor party for Halloween where people all come in costume. But because Japan has cosplay, they already have this tradition of dressing as characters for your own otaku needs. So a lot of the, video game shows and comic shows and stuff have a lot of cosplay of people dressing as characters and very elaborate, like hand sewn costumes. So they already have a tradition of cosplay. So for them, Halloween is zombie. It's just zombie everything. So most of the costumes are either joke costumes, like very simple, kind of like in the U.S. Simple, stupid joke costumes where you're like a mailbox or just something stupid, or you're a zombie version of Mario or some recognizable character. So, or just just a zombie. So and Japan, because there's no bodies buried underground, there are no zombies. But recently Japan has been doing more zombies. Yeah, right. Nice. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I miss, trick or treating was such a thing in America, but they're getting more and more scared, more paranoid of everything now. So now kids are trick or treating, especially in bigger cities. Kids are trick or treating at like the shopping malls and stuff. Like they go to shopping malls or wherever that's not people's houses. So yeah, you don't get to know your neighbors or learn your neighborhood because everyone's afraid of their neighbors. So they trick or treat. And this is in the U.S. Like this was in Los Angeles. So before I left, that was my experience there. So most of the time you would just go to the rich neighborhoods because the rich neighborhoods would give you a full Snickers bar and they would make these super elaborate, expensive, haunted houses in their driveways and front yards and stuff. So the local neighborhoods, started to not be so common. But here there is no trick or treating. It's just Halloween is for older, like university kids and older, because it's it's a drinking holiday. So kids dress up as zombies and then just go out drinking and like hang out, on the kind of public streets. There's a kind of a designated area like a park or something where people would just hang out, and mostly just to take photos of the other people in costumes. There's a lot of photo taking of strangers in funny, that are dressed in funny costumes. But yeah, it's not the decorations, like the jack-o'-lanterns and bats and witches and kind of decorations are popular. So most shops decorate for Halloween, but there's no like big celebration of it. It doesn't have any like real meaning because they don't, there's no Christian meaning for it. So it's just a Western style fun thing, and it means zombies, and you get to go out and drink with your friends. So that's what it basically is right now. Kids don't really wear costumes at school or do anything related to Halloween at school. Some of the international schools do, but the basic like public schools don't really celebrate Halloween unless like their English teacher or whatever has some lesson about it. But yeah, Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the thing that started before they started to do the big meetings in the parks and stuff, the foreigners in Japan, in Osaka, there's a loop line, like kind of like in Chicago. There's a circular train line that you can just ride around, forever. The train will just keep making circles, and I think there's a couple of loops in Tokyo, but so in Osaka, the foreigners would dress up in costume and they would just ride the train all night. Maybe some of them were drinking on the train, but they would just ride the train all night together in costume, and it would be a funny thing for Japanese people to see, is just a bunch of foreigners dressed like whatever. I don't know. Well, I think the only people I've seen dressed on the train were all the Johnny Depp character from Pirates of the Caribbean. But yeah, so groups of foreigners to celebrate, Halloween, would dress up and ride the train all night, and that, I think, is what started the like public party Halloween parties. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of the photos, if you do searches, I think it's Shinjuku. Let me see. I don't want to. I don't know if it's Shibuya or Shinjuku. Maybe both. Maybe either. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, yeah. This is something I can click over to. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. If let me see comments. So yeah, this is the so the scale is pretty big. So this is Shibuya. It's Shibuya. Yeah, so it's just zombie. So here's the zombie prisoners and some guy covered in LEDs, but this is from 2019. So this is what they had to try to stop. Can you see? Yeah, I guess you can see that enough. This is what they had to try to stop during the pandemic last year. It's people wanting to do this again. Yeah, so they just kind of block off the street in Shibuya. I guess Shibuya has the famous, like, the really crowded crosswalk. So people just like cross the street, and yeah. But as you can see, just a lot of zombie costumes, and it's not anything as nice and elaborate as like actual Japanese cosplay. Like the actual cosplay is so much more elaborate. Oh, and then yeah, you get big groups of people. But yeah, one of my friends that was here for business when he just started working for Sony. He visited Tokyo and I met him, and they had just come back from the little Japanese Halloween version. He'd never seen that before, but he's a photographer, like I think hobby photographer, and took a bunch of really amazing photos, just like waiting for interesting moments and stuff. So like a girl like dressed with zombie makeup on was just smoking, and he took this really amazing photo of just like her exhaling, and with the zombie makeup it looked amazing. But yeah, it's so this is this is, yeah, so it's just random zombie. So zombie Snow White and Little Red Riding Hood. So it's just an older kids oh, sorry, these are so small, style. So yeah, just kind of humorous or goofy, but everything is zombie, just everything. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Hello Kitty, and oh yeah, here you go, and here's Mario and Luigi style, but it's red and green. I think these are just 100 yen. That's right, they're unlicensed Mario Luigi hats because they don't have an M and an L on them. They're just red and green. Yeah, so that's the idea. But it makes a crazy mess. But it's similar to the kind of Matsuri, the summer festivals, where people are just walking around in yukatas or whatever to enjoy the stand food. There's no stands, but it's just everybody in Shibuya Halloween. Yeah, so very crowded. So yeah, the street, and then the maybe shopping arcades and stuff. So that's what that is. Sorry. Yikes. Streets littered with zombies. Yeah, yeah. Robert and Greg. Oh, that's right. Those are the waspy version of the waspy plumbers. Yeah, it's definitely fun, and it's definitely go with a group of your friends and yeah, just be stupid in public for a while. And so, and that's the funny thing is watching everybody get there. So there's zombies on the trains and getting out of taxis and stuff on the way to that event. But yeah, they had to try to stop it last year, which they didn't do completely successfully. I think people still gathered, but yeah. So we'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen this year because they can't legally enforce no public assembly. So they kind of adopted more American style rules for freedom of assembly. So they can't, even because of pandemic, can't make you stop meeting somewhere in public. So that was very different. So the religious practice and everything can't be stopped like they tried to do in the U.S. for pandemic reasons. So there's a big freedom of religion and freedom of assembly because of all the kind of government abuse that happened during the wartime, during like the 30s and 40s in Japan. In Japan, they tried to control dissent against the emperor's war machine from the public by not letting people meet and not letting people kind of form resistance against what was going on. Yes. So yeah, so there'll be something, I'm sure, around Halloween, and a lot of the bars have, they encourage people to come in costume and drink. But it's not, not a kid's holiday so much. Kids don't carve pumpkins. You can, I think there's a couple of the big grocery chains that might get the bigger American size, or I'm not sure if they're originally American, but the larger size American pumpkins for carving. I've seen those occasionally, just like they have Christmas trees here sometimes, like fresh, like real Christmas trees. IKEA does that in Japan. You can get a pine Christmas tree, but yeah, it's very much more rare here. But yeah, Halloween in Japan. Yeah. Oh, you mean carving a pumpkin? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, carving a pumpkin's not so bad. It's pretty fun. And it's fun to watch them, like, because if your October is like seasonally warm, the pumpkin doesn't last very long and it just like starts to look very geriatric and just kind of folds in on itself. It looks very sad very fast. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fun. That's always something to do. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, and they get so big, and that's the funny thing, like all the seasonal stuff is so cheap. Like you get giant pumpkins for very little money, but if you buy a pumpkin, off season, it's insanely expensive. Always like that, and like just like roses on Valentine's Day in the US, the dozen roses is, you know, a, like $12 or something. It's really crazy. Crazy cheap. Uh Yeah, you can't even buy a dozen roses. I think a store, like a flower store in Japan, like has only a dozen roses. They would never. So you can't buy flowers to give to somebody here, like in any sort of like sizable bouquet. It would have to be mixed. Like it would have to have a bunch of different flowers in it. There, a dozen roses is hard to come by here. Uh, yeah, that's really funny. Oh boy. Oh wow, 6:30. How did it get so late? I guess I started insanely late. Oh, I missed a call. Uh-oh. Looks like I should oh, sorry. Yeah. Looks like my driving skills are required. I should end the stream. Uh Yeah, yeah. So single roses you can do. You can be like that because that's always an anime trope. Is always the gaijin guy, the foreign guy with a rose in his teeth, playing piano. So you can do that. But yeah, forget it. Forget it. A dozen roses is just not going to happen. All right. Oh, all right. But yeah, I will wrap things up for this week. And thanks for joining me on the Robert and Greg. Thanks for joining me on the off day, and I'll get back on schedule next week. Hopefully, I don't know. I may have to, depending on what's going on. I may have to do either Tuesday or Thursday next week. Yeah. So I'm glad to see everybody on the stream. It was good. Yeah, cut K5 early and cut Yum later. So perfect. And stay away from the butter chocolate. It was not as good as it sounded. All right. So yeah, thanks, Little Will and Unknown Girl. Good to see you, and everybody else that stopped by. Joe and Damon, and yeah, there were a bunch of people. Michael Scott. Thanks, you guys, for coming on stream. It was good to see you. Yeah, very cool. So we will do this again next week. I can't promise it'll be Tuesday. I'll try to make it Tuesday, but it'll be Tuesday or Thursday, whichever day is the least hectic. But hopefully this will start to lighten up. It's just a couple weeks of this. So everybody take care. And if this is the first time watching this stream, this is the drawing the domestic abuse cartoon strip. So Tuesdays and Thursdays up on Go Comics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. The links are in the description for the stream. And you can also abusecartoons.com, Twitter at abusecartoons. Or no, Twitter is not abusecartoons. Sorry. And you can also support the cartoon by going to patreon.com/abusecartoons to get me to do more. I want to do more than twice a week, so Patreon would be the way to make that happen. And yeah, everybody take care, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching, and be safe, and I hope things get sane again soon. So take care, and see you next week. Goodbye.